Much love, respect, and appreciation. Took a little bit to actually get this going due to the fact of some technical difficulties with the video and everything of the sort, just to get these situated and placed directly on the app. But much love want to state to Third because he was actually here a little bit early. He was here around like 2:02 at the moment. So let me just highlight the brother real quick. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Sometimes, I mean, at least I know that the notifications actually go out, or maybe it might have been Discord. So maybe that's how it worked out. But much love, respect, and appreciation. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to look directly at a few videos dealing with cops and dealing with situations of which that just should not happen, and looking at how the cops decide to go about it, and again proving the fact that the cops are very much problematic in the United States, but a lot of folks don't want to be honest about the situation. Too many people want to back the blue, thin blue line, all of that, type of stuff. But it's only specifically when it deals with Black Americans that a lot of people want to, amp up the cops and automatically want to agree and feel a certain type of way. But when it deals with other individuals directly about there, pretty much nothing. Pretty much nothing. Hey, we got Miss Anderson in the building. What is up? What is up? What is up? What is up? We got Rondo with the 550 gems. What is up? Much love, respect, and appreciation. That's actually the first time that's showed up properly. Using StreamYard. So, shout out to them for, getting that situated. So now I can actually spot you guys when that actually pops up. So much love, respect, and appreciation for the gems. We got Gail in the building. Talking about some El Hito. What is up, Gail? We got Bushido in the building. What is up? What is up? What is up? We got Brandon V World. Much love, respect, and appreciation for the $2 dono. I'm guessing that this brother is at work. At work right now. I got that man working a long shift. We got DC Precise in the building. What is up? What is up? We said, what's good? Seji out here doing the Lord's work. Bars, bars, bars. We got Lewis. What is up? You said, what is up? Not much, man. Not much, not much. But let's get into this video. I'm going to replay it a few times because it will. The first part happens a little bit quick, but I made sure to pair both videos together so you can pretty much, get what's going on. But
one house. Who? You.
Start running, I'm gonna shoot you. Start running. Start running.
You just see, I got you on camera, saying you gonna get your white shirt. Get your white shirt, man. No. What is supervisor? No. 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 He just can't. No. He just walked up and said, "Boo, you go shoot motherfucker if he run." What the fuck you catching a break? Talking about catching a break. What the fuck is catching a break? Y'all goofy ass old game on my dick on my soul. You fucking stumble. Come on.
So we saw that, right? So let me just rewind that back real quick. So you see the cop car, right? So you see the guys right here. They just chilling. They out there just talking, right? Minding their business. I've done this. Being younger, we just sitting up there talking. That's it. We might have went to like CVS or whatnot or whatever, and we just stopped and we're just sitting up there talking, right? It's a nice day out. The sun is out. Nice breeze. Just chilling, right? So minding their business, ain't nothing happening. And then automatically this cop comes directly from the right side of the screen and then proceeds to walk up to one of the guys. You can see the guy basically moving directly over because the cop is like, hey, don't move, making up some story. Oh, I'm looking for you, whatnot, or whatever. So the dude is like, yo, you're, first of all, I know I can outrun you, and you're not about to sit up there and put hands directly on me, trying to just hold me somewhere for no reason. So that dude automatically gets directly out of the way, right? And that's when you see the white cop tried to get him, obviously couldn't. We know that he's overweight, old age, and everything of the sort, right? Not built to be a cop. So then he then proceeds to look directly at the cameraman, right? He was like, hey, I want you to stay right there. If you run, I'm gonna shoot you. Now I want y'all to understand, where on God's green earth does that make sense? You don't see anybody with a weapon. The cop is not saying weapon. He's not saying a knife, a taser, mace. He's not stating anything at all, which would basically give people the point of view of that, oh, he's he's going to be under fire, or everybody has a gun, or they're going to jump him. They're going to Nothing in there is telling that he is fearing for his life. He's automatically pulling up. You see, one hand is free, but obviously we know where his other hand is going to go, right? So you see the handcuffs. And then as soon as he said, if you run, I'm going to shoot, automatically starts to put his hand directly on the service weapon. You got 3 guys there, of which are not trying to bum rush him. They're not trying to fight him. They're not trying to threaten him. They're not doing anything at all that would make this cop fear for his life, so much so that he would need to go directly for his service pistol. But before he's even going for the service pistol, he said, if you run, I'll shoot. That's like a Family Guy episode. I swear I seen this before on a Family Guy episode where the cop was like, stop or I'll shoot. And I'm like, huh? So if the person stops, you're going to shoot him. So that means that the person needs to run so they don't get shot. I'm like, this is crazy. Like this is literally a Family Guy episode. I'm like, this is some crazy type of work. So let's just hit this up one more time, right?
One house. Who? You. Start running, I'm gonna shoot you. Start running. Start running.
You just I got you on camera, saying you gonna get your white shirt. Get your white shirt, man. No. What the supervisor? No. No. He says walk up and say move so you go shoot motherfucker if you want. What you talking about? Come on, catching a break. Talking about catching a break. What the fuck is catching a break? Y'all goofy ass on game, my dick on my soul. You fucking stumble. Come on.
Right? So then let's go back. So notice the smile on the cop's face. He was like, yeah, I sat up there and did it. It is what it is. But we're just going to say that you're catching a break. How are they catching a break? You threatened to shoot somebody if they ran, but you didn't say like, oh, this is an investigation. I'm doing my, detective work. This is a law-abiding command from a law officer. And this is, we see that you fit the description. He didn't say none of that. He didn't say zero. And then you got the other dude that came out here was like, yeah, you guys are catching a break. Nah, y'all dead wrong. You're dead wrong. He's smiling right here, knowing the fact that he was in the wrong. And then when you go a little bit further, he wants to, while he got a partner sitting right there, he wants to sit up there and start bucking directly at people. Let me pull this back real quick. Right? Knowing that he was in the wrong, you see him smiling, and basically look at him sitting up there acting like he's about to try to bum rush somebody again. That don't make no sense. You know that you were dead wrong in everything that you did, and it's recorded. And you're still acting like this. This is why a lot of people wonder why it is that the Black community has a problem with the cops. This is why. This is exactly why. Oh, wait. Somebody said that the police don't like hood-ish. Ain't nobody got time for that. You said hire some hood cops, right? I'm taking it you must be white. I'm glad you decided to speak up because I want to see what's your opinion when you have somebody of the white ethnicity, right? Of white culture, deciding that they want to whip out their genitalia and they want to urinate on the whole family, including somebody's daughter, right? So I want you to, stay right there, right? Hold on, where you at? Where you at? Let me just highlight the other one because y'all like to cuss, right? So now I get to zoom into this one. So
there's nothing we can do about a guy physically pulling out his and pissing on me right now. Nothing we can do with that in front of an 8-year-old girl because I'm going to push this all over the internet and everything. And it's not the best, you guys. It's the best Maryland's law.
Listen, it doesn't make a difference if I just explained this to you.
No, and I get it.
We cannot take him into custody.
And I'm not blaming you.
We're going to give you his information, and you can be referred to the commission.
And again, I'm not blaming you because you can only do what the law is stating, right?
Correct.
But I'm going to make it known that I had a gentleman whip his out at a Morgan Wallen concert, piss on me, my brother, and my niece.
So white people, I need y'all to pull up the one sitting in the background where y'all automatically want to start typing. Again, when we show videos dealing with black people and the police, y'all automatically side with the police. So for the white people in the room, for the white people that wanna type, stop typing and make sure you focus on what it is that this white man is telling you. This is a white man. These are all white cops, not a black cop in sight. This happened at a country concert, so we know that there's not a black in sight. So explain to me how it is that one of yours who was a part of your community, who went to one of your gatherings, got drunk enough, caused disorderly conduct, and decided to whip out his genitalia in front of a family and pee on the whole family, including a little girl. Somebody explain that to me. How does that work, white people? How does that work? Because y'all always got all the mouth and y'all always want to back up the cops. The cops are literally telling this white man that there is nothing that they can do about a grown man who came to a country concert, got drunk, and urinated on a whole family, including a little girl. White people, why y'all want to always run y'all mouths in the background? Y'all always want to run y'all mouths on X. Y'all want to run y'all mouths on all the other videos that I do that covers with race. This specifically has to do with you. Where are you at now? What do you have to sit up there and say? Let's continue.
And the Maryland State Police can do nothing about it. Not a thing. And it's absolutely okay. And they're going to say, do what you want to do if you want to press charges.
Did they give you his information?
Yep, I got his information. Can I get who's in charge of the stadium? Stadium security. Yeah. I want to have a conversation with him, please.
The black guy there, he works at the stadium. He's not a cop. So I just want to make that very clear.
Absolutely crazy that you can pull your out, piss on somebody, and nothing happens. Look at her.
That's his niece. That's his niece that was urinated on by a drunkard at a country concert. And the cops, and you can look at her face, how disturbed she is at what she more than likely saw. And the cops, all of those white cops are like, hey, we can't do anything about it, buddy. You know, it is what it is. You just gotta deal with it, bro. Yes, it is what it is. He's not black, so it's not an attack, right? That's how they're moving with this. Because the suspect more than likely is not black, it's not going to be listed as an attack. So they're going to let him go. I would have thought it would have been indecent exposure. I would have thought that he would have been on the registry because he decided to urinate on the family. In order to urinate, you would have to pull out your genitalia in order to do that. If you pull out your genitalia, that would mean that people would be able to see it. Right? But let's continue.
Look at it. And you guys, like, there's nothing. Absolutely amazing.
I know. You can either accept it. I don't know what else to
I'm
tell
not
you.
mad at you. I'm
Yes,
mad
you
at
are,
the
because
system.
now you're making a scene.
I'm mad at the system.
We're trying to help you, and you just continue to just go back
I'm
and
mad
do
at the
the
system.
same thing.
I'm mad at the system.
We helped you.
You haven't helped me.
We did help you.
You haven't. You haven't helped anybody. Next time we will, and that's the problem. Question for you, sir. I'm Troy Building. How you doing? I got a question for you. If I were to whip out my right now and I piss on somebody, would I go to jail?
I identified the guy, sir. I'm not sure
I'm
what
just asking
occurred.
a question.
I identified the individual for you. I kept him out there. I did everything I was asked to do.
I'm asking
completely
a question.
understand.
If I were to go piss on somebody right now, would you arrest me? Well, they would see you do it.
Exactly.
That's the problem. If I pissed on somebody right here and this gentleman came up to you and said, hey, that gentleman just pissed on this lady, would I get a...
So again, I'm just trying to figure out. I see some people talking about, like, why are people always focused on race? It's woven into this country. It's woven into the history. A lot of things had to deal directly with race. I'm not sure how people want to get past that or overlook that. That's quite crazy. I thought that's what made the United States unique versus every other country. We're a mixture of different races, ethnicities, and cultures, but within that, we have clashes. There are problems that happen. There are disagreements that happen. There are conversations that may happen, and there's a lot of conversations that don't and will never happen. So it's a little bit crazy to me how people want to always make it seem as though, like, oh man, why is this always about race. Because the first video that I listed, where it had to deal with black folks, usually what tends to happen is that a lot of people want to start running their mouths. They always want to claim that the cops are innocent. They always want to claim that the blacks did something, that the blacks were going to attack, and all this other type of stuff, right? The normal rhetoric. But again, white cop, right? In the original video, let me go back real quick. This white cop in the original video threatened the lives of black men that were there in their own community, not doing anything wrong, had his hand directly on his service pistol and said, "If you run, I'm going to shoot you." He said that multiple times while walking towards and having his hands on his service pistol. Not once did he sit up there and say that, "Hey, I'm in fear of my life." Not once did he sit up there and say that somebody was taking a bladed stance or that their fists were balled up. Not at one point did he say that somebody had a weapon directly on them or that there was something in their hand I couldn't properly see, and now I must sit up there and defend myself. Not at one point did he ever say that he feared for his life. But automatically he can pull up on 3 black men in their own community, minding their business, relaxing, just talking, and sit up there and threaten them and sit up there and say, "If you run, I'll shoot you." That doesn't make any type of sense. Like I said before, I've seen tons of videos and I've not seen that happen to 3 white teenagers nor 3 white men. I've not seen it. I've not seen it. 9 times out of 10, when it deals with the threat of taking somebody's life, it happens primarily directly to black men, black boys in the black community. But like I said, a lot of y'all like to sit up there and sit back and justify a lot of stuff. A lot of y'all like to justify a lot of stuff. But like I said, oh no, looky. Somebody's like, "Hey, I'm spewing propaganda," even though I'm clearly showcasing videos. The one thing I love about the internet is that when people dislike what it is that you're saying, when people dislike the evidence that you are placing directly in front, people are like, "Oh no, I don't like this. I'm going to report you and make sure that you can never do videos and people can never hear your voice ever again." Yeah. The funniest thing about that, that's what the United States government is actually doing to everybody at this current moment in time. But yet when it deals with the government, who are you going to report that to? When it deals, let's say with the flock cameras, right? With all of these license plate readers and all of these other types of things that they're doing to be very invasive, right? Like I said, the cops don't even specifically have to pull you over to see anything. They have cameras that are posted that can look directly into your car. Who are you going to report that to? The government and police are, they work in tandem. They're a part of the exact same group. So who are you going to run to then? You don't have protection on that. Huh? You don't have nobody to complain to. You can't complain to the United States government, can't complain to the corporations, can't complain to America, can't complain to the UN. So you're just going to have to sit up there and deal with it. It's crazy how that works, though. That's why, like I said, this is why when I specifically did this, I was just going to talk about the police and just go by every single story as a story. But now, because people want us to get stupid, this is when I got to start highlighting the fact that you see a difference in how race is treated, right? And that was the main thing. The black men here. Let me just replay this video one more time for the dummies in the background that want to say something. Let me just play this one more time.
One house. Who?
You. Start running, I'm gonna shoot you. Start running.
You just I got you on camera, saying you gonna get your white shirt. Get your white shirt, man. No. What is supervisor? No. No. He says camp. No. He says walk up and say move. You go shoot motherfucker if you want. What you talking about? Oh my God! Catching a break. Talking about catching a break. What the fuck is catching a break? Y'all goofy asshole game on my dick on my soul. You fucking stumble. Come on.
So just in case, because we got about like 614 people here now. So just in case you did not understand what it is that I'm talking about, if you just came in here, I clear cut gave you an example of the white cop right there right? He's coming from the right side of the screen, upper, right hand corner of what we could see. And he's walking directly upon 3 black men. He didn't state that anybody was selling drugs. He didn't state that anybody that they had any type of complaints or calls. He didn't state that they were playing loud music. He didn't state that they looked suspicious. He didn't state that they had a weapon. He didn't state that there was gang activity or anything suspicious going on. He pulled directly up on him and said, "Hey, if you run, I'm going to shoot you. If you run, I'm going to shoot you. If you run, I'm going to shoot you." It's crazy. That's diabolical. So shout out to the people in the comment section pulling up talking about this is all propaganda. How is this propaganda? How is this? So wait. So you mean to tell me? So okay, hold on. Let me get this straight, because I got tears in my eyes right now. So the first video, as somebody stated in the comment section, they was like, "Oh, the hatred of the blacks, it's earned," and all this other, right? It's earned there, right? So the police are justified directly in this, right? But then when I go directly to this video
And
here,
there's nothing.
and it deals with a white male who is there with his family and his niece, and the rest of the family get urinated on at a country concert. Somehow, some way, you'd be like, it's propaganda. Okay, all right. Okay. All right. That's diabolical work. Diabolical work. Crazy work. Good job though. Like I said, for the white folks, I'm just going to be honest with you. Out of the times that I've covered videos dealing with y'all in the police in y'all communities, and I've tried to give out a bat signal to let you know how corrupt the cops are, even within your own communities, y'all still don't want to listen. You still are just ignoring it. You'll be like, let me bring up something in the black community. Let me talk about the blacks. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Y'all will do everything to push whatever is even happening to you and your family under the rug, because the cops who are doing it look just like you, are from your community, you grew up with them and everything of the sort. You'd be like, no, we're not gonna talk bad, even though they are wrong. We're not gonna talk bad about them, but let's talk about the blacks. Let's talk about Chicago. Let's talk about Atlanta. Let's talk about places in Florida. Let's talk about California. Let's talk about places in New York. Let's talk about Detroit. You guys will move the conversation to somewhere else, therefore allowing the corrupt cops who are in your communities to proliferate that exact same corruption all over the place. This is why I don't feel sorry when things happen. When the cops act bad and they end up negatively affecting a lot of your families, this is why I can't feel bad anymore. Because you shield them, you protect them, you body block no matter how wrong they are. You will make sure that whatever power structure is in power there stays in power, even if it means to harm you, even if it means to harm your family, your neighbor, even your dog. I done covered quite a few videos where these road cops have decided to come onto your property and they're in fear of their life when it deals with a chihuahua, and they decide to sit up there and take out their service pistol and shoot directly at the dog. Countless videos. Like I said, crazy work. Oh, we got spammers. Got you. No problem. Gotta get them up out of here. Gotta pack up the spammers. Let me see what else we got. I'm just rolling through the comment section real quick. Yo, shout out to those out there in Baltimore. What is up? Somebody say you acting like the black community is turning in corrupt cops. The black community has at least tried to highlight the problem. How many times have black people come directly out and talked about the fact that, hey, their 7-year-old son or whoever ended up having their life taken because of a road cop, because they didn't know how to de-escalate a situation. We talk about that frequently. We bring it up in the media. What you don't happen to see is white people bringing this up. And I've covered, like I said before, the videos that y'all don't see is what happens in the white communities. in these suburbs where these cops are sitting up there abusing the kids out there, the families. They're doing no knocks and raids and all this other type of stuff. I done covered videos before where a white family ended up having the life of their son taken. They just went directly up in the house. The door was possibly like cracked open, or they followed somebody directly from the sidewalk into the home and then just went in. Nobody gave them the ability to come in. They just did it because they could. And then lo and behold, somebody's life was taken directly in the house. And then you heard the white family in there. They were sitting up there crying. They were weeping. They were enraged and all of these things. They were mortified and horrified at what happened. But like I said, stuff like this wouldn't happen if white folks in their communities would actually bring this up to mainstream media and it was played 24, 48, 72 hours so that people would actually see these cops. They would know the names. They would know the faces. They would know the precinct, right? They would know who the police chief is. You guys opt not to do it, even though you have the lens, you have the point of view, you have the camera. You have mainstream media. You got your news and newspapers and blogs and all this other type of stuff out there. Like I said before, when it deals with TikTok, when it deals with IG, like I said, I'm even getting away from mainstream media. TikTok, X or Twitter, IG, YouTube, and wherever else that people can go on social media and see a lot of these videos. When you look at the highest amount of white content creators who like to cover subjects and talk about subjects where they got multi-million views, these are not things that they talk about and highlight, even when it deals with the white community. Like I said before, I would think that something like this would actually be important, but you guys, in a lot of instances, act like that it's not important. And then, like I said before, y'all want to sit up there and swap it. So, like this person said, you're acting like the black community is turning in corrupt cops. We showcase them. And in some instances, we don't really get the justice that needs to be had. But that only happens because it's dealing with black people. And in a lot of instances, people feel as though that black people are not really human. They feel that black people are animals or subhuman and all this other type of stuff. So what happens to black people in the black community, it's whatever. As long as it doesn't happen to us, it's whatever. But yet it does. But the difference is black people are outwardly loud when we are dealing with the loss of life. White people are quiet. You guys want to mourn in silence, which then allows the cops and the precinct and all these other cops that like to do these exact same rituals or whatever it is that you want to call it. You allow them to still do this within the community and to then bring in new officers to do the exact same thing, making the problem bigger and bigger and bigger up until it gets critical mass. And then when it gets critical mass of white people, that's when y'all want to start screaming and crying out loud and y'all really want to go on social media and everything and do something. But like I said, this has been critical for a very long time. But as I stated before, because it's not, in a sense, primarily happening to you, in which the way that it happens to the black community, y'all don't realistically care. Y'all can pull up to from some of the the comments I've seen where people are like, oh, it's a corrupt cop and this y'all can pull up and say that, but y'all not pulling out those cameras like y'all normally do. Y'all not talking about this like you normally do when it deals with black people. When it deals with black people, y'all want to sit up there and pull up, oh, it's justified. They deserved it. This is the didn't do nothing. We was kings, right? That's what y'all like to sit up there and see and say. But as stated before, y'all want to agree with it in one moment, and then as other people have come up to this live stream and said, like, oh, but when it deals with white people and white people, oh, it's propaganda. It's propaganda. It's AI. It's Chat GPT. It's Photoshop. This never happens. That's some crazy work. That is diabolical. And to the white people out there, this is why I've covered videos dealing with your communities. And I remember one specifically where it was a cop that was specifically targeting somebody's young daughter. And he was seeing that person's young daughter, like the young girl was sneaking out of the house to go be with the cop. Grown adult cop, dude, 30s and 40s. She's a teenager. Stories like this happen quite frequently in your communities, but y'all don't really talk about it. The same people who are supposed to uphold the law break the law every single time in the white community, but white people really don't outwardly and openly speak about it because they're like, that's going to make us look bad. That's going to make us look bad, and then the blacks, they're just going to sit up there and use it against us. So instead of us being honest about our own problems and situations, instead of us bringing it up, and it is going to reflect on us and make us look bad, we're just going to ignore it and make it seem like it doesn't exist. So we're going to move the goalposts and let's talk about the blacks. Let's talk about the per capita. Let's talk about the crime rates. Let's talk about the drugs. Let's talk about Detroit. Let's talk about 1 trillion people just got killed in Chicago 5 seconds ago, and all this other. Let's talk about all these other things. Let's inundate, the airwaves. Let's inundate all the social media with all this stuff dealing with the blacks, so that we can minimize, sweep under the rug, and not focus on the problems that we got directly within our white suburban communities, of which we allow this type of criminal behavior by way of the cops, the law-abiding oath officers. They commit these crimes to us. Let's ignore all of this and just focus directly on the blacks. And y'all pull up and y'all want to sit up there and say, why is everything about race? That's why. Like I said, Black Americans, we don't make this a thing. You guys do. Because in a lot of these systems of which you control, like I said, y'all said that y'all created America. Y'all created, you modernized, right, America. You also gave a lot of things to the world, right? But yet, with all of the quote unquote good that you gave, you don't want to talk about the bad or the ugly. You only want to be worshipped for the good and the positive. Now, when it deals with the bad and ugly, this is when you want to slide in. Oh, look at the blacks. look at how we made America so great, and look at how we did this, and look at how we did that. But these blacks, the moment of time that we brought them over here, the last time that they were good workers was back during slavery. Now it's like they're just lazy. That's the way that y'all want to sit up there and paint it. That is the way that you want to sit up there and paint it. And it's like that's pretty crazy. That is 1,000% crazy. You ask me, right, during a live stream, why do I sit up there and make it directly about race? Oh, look at that. See, we got the folks throwing the chimp emojis directly in there. We got you're the only ones with Neanderthal DNA. So I'm a little bit confused. Oh, matter of fact, hold on. I got you, buddy. Hold on. Wait. This will allow me to actually, I like this. Unbiased truth. Shout out to you for throwing the chimp DNA directly in the comment section. The one thing I noticed about at least the image of that chimp is that he technically has a little bit of color directly to them, right? And usually when people have pigmentation, that means that they don't tend to have issues directly with the sun, right? So no problem. I got you. So that actually allows me to go directly into my next video, which I didn't plan on going directly into because I had another cop video to bring up. So let's just look at this, shall we, class?
Research has people a little frightened to use it. There's a new study out that says after just one day, chemicals in sunscreens enter your bloodstream.
Before you grab that bottle of sunscreen, the first thing you need to do is check the ingredients on the back.
They are chemicals and they can potentially be dangerous.
Look at any bottle of sunscreen on the store shelf and it'll more than likely have one of these ingredients.
Avobenzone and oxybenzone are very commonly in your chemical sunscreens.
But a new study finds when you apply sunscreen with those chemicals, along with two other ones known as escamsol and octocrylene, they can absorb into your skin and into your bloodstream.
In more than 80%, 80% of the sunscreen products sold in the USA were now considered potentially unsafe for use. Wanting to protect our skin, but risking things like hormone disruption, skin allergies, even cancer. And on the other side, you have mineral sunscreens. And the mineral sunscreens have zinc oxide or some other mineral. And what happens is it reflects the light off of your body. So it's almost like putting a barrier on your skin. The sun's rays hit and then they bounce off. So just from a health standpoint, that's obviously intuitively, yes, they're much healthier than the chemical.
Right. So I'm just trying to figure out what demographic would this primarily affect? Right? Because you want to say that I'm chimping out right? Which is cool, right? So you're a Chud the Builder, Langley, whatever that other dude, you're a fan of them, right? No problem. That's cool, right? I'm just trying to figure out what demographic would this primary, because I'm looking at all of this on the shelf and I can tell you never in my life have I ever used any of these products. So I'm trying to figure out what demographic would this primarily affect if these chemicals are carcinogenic, if these chemicals can cause issues combination wise within the human body, and they can formulate things that will be horribly detrimental. I'm just trying to figure out. 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 That's a little bit crazy to me. Oh, we got trolls directly in there. No problem. We can't really deal with spamming, brother. Gonna have to pack you up. Spamming a little bit too much for me, brother. You wrote that like 6 times. If you would have wrote it once, cool, fine. Like I said, I'm used to the racism. Y'all not really saying nothing I haven't seen or heard before, right? Like I said, I can highlight the chimp and the primates, and that's not really doing nothing. I did see somebody earlier. They said that they're just listing a whole bunch of stuff to throw me off. Actually, I mean, technically today, the comments have fed directly into other videos. So they're actually fast forwarding a lot of stuff that I would have taken my time to get directly up to. So it's actually quite funny how it works. But like I said before, I'm just trying to figure out what demographic. Looking at all of these products, I've never, me or any other young black kids that I know of, that I've been around playing out in the sun all of our lives, playing basketball. I've never seen these products. I've never seen these products in my house. I've never used them. So I'm trying to figure out, to those out there that like to throw up the chimp and the gorilla, the primate emojis, like to say that blacks are chimping down and that, this, that, and the third. Doesn't this affect you? Aren't these your companies? The blacks didn't make these companies. I'm pretty sure a white hand created these companies, right? Because usually when people happen to make companies, especially for products that have certain needs that certain people need, usually it's people of those demographics that usually tend to actually make those products. Sunscreen is technically really not one of those. Technically, it's not one of those. Now, maybe you could sit up there and say that if somebody is very much light enough where they don't really have a lot of melanin and they are black, okay, possible. But on a larger scale, no. Just saying. Yeah, so like I said, you can say that I'm a chimp. You can say that primate, all this other type of stuff. But what I do know is that something that God made, which is the sun, which gives life to everything else out here on the planet, I don't have a problem with it. And nor does the sun have a problem with me. So I'm just trying to, figure out. Just trying to figure out. Some crazy work. Oh, that's crazy. People out here saying I have no dad or no moms. That's some crazy work. No dad or mom, guys. So I'm just an orphan. No. I was never a Cabbage Patch Kid. I want you to know. My demographic was never Cabbage Patch Kids. We were never the orphan children on trains. That's not how that worked with the black community. Y'all got history completely messed up on that one. You guys are the Cabbage Patch Kids, right? You guys are the ones coming on those orphan trains, right? Y'all are the ones coming Ellis Island and all this other type of. No. It's not black Americans. Don't got nothing to do with us. Like I said, Cabbage Patch dolls, they put it directly in front of your face. Kids that were born without any parents. That had nothing to do with black Americans. That had nothing to do with us. Just saying. Just trying to figure out. Somebody said, dude, you're hating on sunscreen. No, you're a bot. You're 1000% a bot. Yep. Internet dead theory is being proven at this moment in time. Looking at some of these comments. I'm hating on sunscreen. That's some wild work. Somebody said, what does this have to do with the topic? Well, my dear, right? Mary by the pool. Wait, let me go back up. Where did you go? Right. The title of the live stream is Cops Are the Problem and More, right? So we have what the main topic is, and then we have the and more part. What ended up actually happening was that we had a lot of trolls. We had, racists that are still currently here, and they wanted to basically say a variety of things towards me, being a Black American and, talking about these subjects. And I had to respond kindly. So this was one of the and more videos that I was going to highlight that had to do specifically with the white community. And I wanted to throw that video out there in order to inform the white community of the harm that was taking place by way of these corporations that really don't care about your population. They don't care about your birth rate or anything of the sort, right? This is a Black American that was trying to give information, but I had to sit up there and change it quite a bit since I was being attacked verbally, online, by racist. It be like that. So just saying. Just saying. Let's see. Now I can actually get back to the cop videos, right? So let's go back. So this is the next video, right? So basically what happened here, this is about like a good 5-minute video. So supposedly on this patch of land that has like a one-way, I guess you could say street or a dirt road, people come in and out of the area. The black male that you're going to see directly to the left side of the screen, he has 2 properties there. And for whatever reason, the police are specifically going after the homeowner, trying to basically insinuate that, hey, you're here and there is about some odd feet, 20, 50 or whatever feet away from your property, there's some marijuana plants basically growing, and we're going to pin you basically for that because you have 2 properties here. Again, that doesn't even make sense, because if you got random people as they're going to state that come in and out of that area, how do you pin that directly on just this older man? It doesn't even make any type of sense. It doesn't make any type of sense. That's no type of detective work. There's no type of proof of anything, but we're going to see how this interaction goes, right?
Just because in the season that we're living in, I think it's important that I have your names.
What do you mean, man?
A lot of crazy stuff going on. And so having your name makes me feel more secure. As I said, we came here June 28th. We're actually new here.
Okay.
And for the police officers in this area to come up and say, are you growing marijuana? That is preposterous to me.
Is just a question, man.
Yeah, well, I get that. And so then my only question to you is your names, just so it's okay in my own heart and mind. And when I say the season we're living in, the season we're living in.
Y'all concerned about something over here at this house?
This house?
So let me just pause it right quick. So I want to note that both of the black elders there, they're talking real calm. Nobody's, being abrasive, yelling. Ain't nobody doing none of that, right? We can clearly see a conversation that is taking place. The black female elder, she's specifically asking for the name because things have been happening when it deals specifically with the cops, where unarmed black people have been shot and killed, murdered directly in the streets, on camera or off camera, right? And she just wants that for a simple peace of mind and for also record keeping. That's what she means by the season that we are in, right? So let's continue.
No, that house.
Yes.
What's the problem?
Who lives there?
Mr. Ferguson. He's probably there now. He's 79.
Okay. All right. What's your name, sir?
Jason Tart.
Jason Tart.
Tart.
And what do you mean by the season we're living in, ma'am?
Sir.
What do you need? You got any questions for me?
No, I'll collect some information from you in a minute, your name and date of birth and such.
What do you need my information for?
You own these 2 homes, correct?
What
okay,
these 2 homes got to do with that?
These 2 homes is near that marijuana grows, so I'd just like to have your name.
You know how many people go through here?
I understand.
That's not going to do you one bit of good.
Okay. Well, sir, I'm going to need your name and date of birth, and I have that.
I don't feel comfortable giving you my name and date of birth.
Okay. Well, this is a criminal investigation. You own these 2 homes, so by law, you do have to give me your name and date of birth, sir.
If he gives you a reason, yes, you do.
Reason for what?
The cause of the marijuana grow.
It's not on my property.
Okay. Well, again, I have reason to believe that these 2 homes here that you own is related to that marijuana grow. So you have to give me your name and date of birth by law. Go get a pen and piece of paper.
Reason to believe what? Why? Because these houses are here. Do you understand that there's a lot of traffic going through here?
Since we've lived here, people come up here and they park there and we don't know where the hell they go, and then they come back out.
I don't have a problem giving you my information. I'm
Okay, well, that's all I need. It doesn't have to be an argument. I mean, just give me your name and date of birth, dude. It's easy.
It's not easy. My property has nothing to do with what you found.
Okay. Well, we're just making sure of that.
Well, you scared me. I mean,
Scared you?
Who says that? Who,
by asking you a question?
Who comes up and asks? That's crazy.
And it scared you?
I'm trying to understand what
it scared you by me asking you a question.
Marijuana?
And that's a question. To say somebody scared you because they asked you a question is ridiculous.
Now, let me freeze it right there. I like how he's trying to phrase it as if he's just a normal person and he just came up and just asked a random question like, yo, I happen to see some wheat growing back there. Like, who's growing that? As if he's a neighbor. You're a cop. You got a badge. You got a gun. You're able to really just pull out your firearm and just say anything happened and take somebody's life. She's an older woman. She's obviously not combative, right? She's obviously not aggressive in any type of sort of way. She's not threatening anybody's life. Yeah, she's going to be fearful, because she's more than likely grown up in a time where she has seen a variety of things happen. And then some of those things from the past, she's still seeing currently at her age, which she shouldn't be able to see, because you would think as time basically progresses, you wouldn't see a lot of things bleeding directly through into the future. But that's currently where we are, because a lot of people refuse to learn directly from the past. Therefore, we will suffer in the future because of lack of information and knowledge. Right? So like I said, it's crazy how he wants to throw, this whole thing as a back and forth, as if he's just a random person just out there just wondering what's going on. Let's continue.
It's preposterous.
Go ahead and give me your name, sir.
Wait.
First name.
It's ridiculous to you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
But it's not ridiculous.
Your first name.
I'm not giving you my information.
Sir, if you refuse to give me your information, I'm going to arrest you.
That's fine. My property has nothing to do with any marijuana whatsoever. You're going to arrest me if I don't give you my name and date of birth.
It's obstructing an officer.
How?
Because you're hindering me from doing my job. You're hindering me from...
How am I hindering you from doing your job if it's not on my property?
Last chance to give me your name and date of birth, sir.
How am I hindering you?
Sir, last chance to give me your name and date of birth.
How am I hindering you?
Place your hands behind your back. Place your hands behind your back. Are you going to give me your name and date of birth?
Take me to jail. You're right. I'm hindering you from doing your job.
Now look at him.
I'll see if I can find you my name first.
No, I'm hindering you from doing your job.
Hold on, let me pause right there. Now notice how, I want everybody to see this. Notice how when the older black gentleman, he sat up there, he took a second and paused. He was like, you know what? Let me listen to you real quick. Let me put my hands behind my back. Let me comply with your orders. And he said, let's go to jail. Telling the officer, hey, my hands are behind my back. I don't got nothing on me. You and your other officer are free to arrest me, and we can go downtown and sort this out however you want to sit up there and do it. The cop was like, you know what? No. Let me actually get off your property real quick. I'm going to see if I can actually find this by name. What? You already stepped on his porch. You already came directly into his personal space. You had the whole full ability. He gave you full legal authority to say, hey, put your hands on me and put cuffs on me and arrest me, put me in the back of the squad car. You could have done it. You opted not to do it. And let me make this very clear to a lot of people. The reason that he didn't do it right there is because he didn't have that justifiable reason or cause. If he was acting aggressive, if he was acting belligerent, both of them would have stepped on that porch. It would have been a wrestling match like you normally see. Like I said, the dude wasn't trying to be aggressive. He wasn't pulling away from the officer. He wasn't taking some type of random stance. So it was like, no, this is too easy. It's going to look bad on my part. Let me not do this. Right? Let's continue.
Going out
Yeah, this is how you guys.
This is bad.
This is
112 control.
This is how you operate.
This is a rat.
I'm hindering you from doing your
That's why I
job.
needed their.
Y'all need to go inside. Again, you two go inside. Go inside.
I'm afraid.
Go
now,
inside.
I'll tell you the truth.
Go inside.
On my own porch?
No, go inside as of right now.
Tell me why.
Go inside.
What are you doing?
Step off
man?
the porch. Step off the porch.
Now he has to step off the
I'll
porch.
step off.
Go inside.
What are you doing? This is unnecessary for
Sir,
you to be
go
doing
inside.
This. He's standing on his own porch.
Go inside.
Don't come in my house.
Go inside. Step back. Go inside.
Look, that's completely uncomfortable.
Now pay attention to that, right? Nobody's being disorderly. Nobody's being aggressive. Nobody's being belligerent. These are all older black folks, right? On their own property. The older black gentleman that had the fro, he was just simply recording. And they saw him recording. He was like, nah, we can't have that. But before we sit up there and deal with you, guy, we need you to step off the porch. So like I said, the cop already knew that he was wrong by going directly onto the property, which he should not have done, and then getting directly in his personal space and then threatening to already arrest him. And then once the arrest automatically seemed easy, he was like, nah, let me actually walk this back. This is not going to actually look good when I do the paperwork. So let me step back off. Let me not even look up the name still, even though I said I was going to look up the name. And now let me tell you, or quote unquote, order you to get off the porch. Again, he complied. He complied again. This is the second time this man sat up there and complied directly with the officers. But after he stepped directly off the porch, he went back onto the property and then decided to basically push somebody else into their own home because he did not want them to record or see what was going to happen. That's a little bit suspicious. This is why I sit up there and say I don't like the police cameras, because it always takes them 6 months to a year plus to come out with the footage of something that might have been like 5 minutes long. It takes them so long to come out with that footage because they doctor it so heavily in order to make the officers correct or to give some type of benefit of the doubt. And like I said, people wonder why it is that the black community has a problem with cops. This is exactly why. The guy is on his own property recording. He's on his own porch. He's not doing anything. He's not being invasive. He's not getting in front of you. He's not sitting up there pulling anybody back. He's not taking you off of the person. He's not doing anything wrong but recording. But you decided that you wanted to push him back into the house so that he can't record the interaction on what's going on. Again, highly suspicious. Let's continue.
Called for.
When Mr. Hairston starts filming the interaction between the deputies and Mr. Tart, Deputy Martin forces the Hairstons into their home, pushing Mr. Hairston into his doorway and closing the door behind him, effectively preventing him from continuing to record the encounter.
Come on.
Look, man, don't listen. Listen, you don't have to listen, man.
You're being recorded.
Listen. Listen. I can walk. Without you putting your damn hands on me. You understand? I have not broken the law.
Walk to the vehicle. Well, walk to the vehicle, sir. You're being recorded.
Hands on me. I give you no reason to touch me.
I'm going to arrest you then. Place your hands behind your back.
Uncalled for.
Place your hands behind your back.
Put your hands behind
Place your hands behind your back.
Listen.
Just relax, okay?
Listen.
Just relax.
Place your hands behind your back. Please place your hands behind your back.
My hand is behind my.
Place
it only takes one of you.
Place your hands.
Look, let him do it. All right. Take your hands off me.
That's fine. Okay.
Let him do it.
So let me just pause it right there. That was the only time that you've seen a point where the older black guy, he was frustrated with the whole incident. There was 2 times that he complied. Technically, it's the 3rd time here, but there was 2 times initially that he complied before it even got to this point. And that same officer who you're looking from the perspective of his body cam, he refused to directly put handcuffs on him at that point. Like I said before, he wanted a justifiable reason. So he decided to get up close to him the other time when he was off the porch and then decided to touch him. And that's when you happen to see the resistance because he's fed up. He's like, yo, you're playing games right now. He's like, yo, don't put your hands on me. There's no reason for you to put because there wasn't. There was 0 reason for him to sit up there and do this. 0. And this is why I sit up there and say that usually when you got one cop that acts this way, you got a second cop. The second cop is the one that did not say anything to correct his partner at all. He stood there in silence. He watched all of this unfold, knowing the fact that his partner was 100% in the wrong and still allowed it to take place and happen. 2 white cops. So if you got 2 white cops sitting up there doing this, you can already imagine that there's many more within that precinct that have the exact same type of thought process and that will commit to the exact same actions. Again, this is problematic. Something that was very basic, That should have just been a standard, straightforward conversation and nothing else turned directly into this, which was ridiculous. And the cop from his body cam, the one that has the body cam on, he was in a sense trying to amp it up so it can go more. And this is again, you see the patience of the older black man. He was like, yo, you saw him hold basically for a minute. He was like, yo, it doesn't take two of y'all to sit up there and do this. Matter of fact, I don't even like you. Let your partner who's been silent this whole time, right, and allow you to do this, allow him, because I don't got no problems with him. I do, but I don't, have no problems with him. Allow him to sit up there and do it. Because like I said, that dude was the first cop is trying to make it worse so that he can escalate it. Like I said, the whole main thing with cops is supposed to be de-escalation. That cop was not practicing or doing any of that at all. He kept raising his voice. He kept putting hands directly on it. Like he was just doing too much. But like I said, he was looking for a justification so that he could do more. Let's keep going.
Let's walk this way. 10-4, he owns two properties right here on this Fabulous Drive road. We located a marijuana grow, probably not 100 foot, 50 foot from this last property of his, and he just won't give us his name, date of birth.
10-4 is he a white male, black male?
Black male.
Right. Like I said, that's 1,000% crazy. Looking through the comment section, I did see somebody sit up and say that this is an older video. I'm going to just state this again for a lot of folks who may be new here. What's old to you is new to me. I think somebody, if I remember correctly, somebody might have stated that this was like some 2017, like an older video. I wasn't doing this in 2017. I was focused on other life stuff. So a lot of this stuff, it went past me. It was not in my point of view. Didn't know anything about it. Because like I said, I wasn't really online, like that. I was just focused on, other stuff going on directly in life, especially in 2017. Yeah. But like I said, what's old to you is new to me. And if it's also new to me, it might be new to a lot of other people who might not have seen it, But like I said before, I'm just using this as an example to showcase the fact that in all three examples, the cops are problematic. They are problematic. But in both instances, when you put these videos up and you place them, let's say on X or wherever else, like X or let's say TikTok, because that's where a lot of people like to talk, you'll notice that in a lot of instances that people will always agree with the cops. They will always side with the cops. And these are 9 times out of 10, these are people who are non-Black American, right? On the rare chance of a 1% chance that you have somebody agreeing and they quote unquote are Black American, usually they're Republican conservative. Usually that's how that works. And that's, that whole the group, that's a whole nother situation, directly with themselves. They'll always agree directly with the cops and always will sit up there and say, oh yeah, Blacks are always in the wrong. I've grown up with them. I've been here, I've been there, and I've seen this and that. They'll always, do the exact same thing. Like I said, that's to be expected. They want to make money, and they know the main source that their money comes directly from is naturally and normally from white folks, because they are cherry picking certain things. They're being a mouthpiece, saying, very provocative things, making very inflammatory and incendiary comments, so that they can get, more views and more people to be there. Not even just supporters, but they also want the animosity and the other energy that comes with that from, people that disagree directly with them. Like I said, I've seen a lot of their content, watch live streams, everything of the sort. It's a whole thing that deals with psychology, and people fall directly for it every single time. Every single time. Like I said. But this is what we're dealing with at this moment in time. But again, one more time for the people in the back, because people want to sit up there and say, what does this have to specifically do with race? So, right. So in both instances, the very first video, let me go back. The first video, we were able to sit up there and see, let me see if I can get him on camera real quick. Right. We had this white cop antagonizing a group of 3 Black men. stating that he was going to shoot them multiple times. He was just going to take their life for no reason, right? He wasn't fearing for his life. He wasn't defending himself. He wasn't under attack. It wasn't like a Megazord was coming down and this was the only way that he had to sit up there and defend himself by basically shooting upwards towards the sky to try to take out a pterodactyl. It wasn't none of that, right? He wasn't arrested, right? The officer that was there, he didn't take his badge or his weapon or put him in handcuffs. They were just like, all right, for you blacks here, we're just gonna call it misfire, and we're just gonna let you off. Right, we're going to let you free this time, as if they're doing something good for them, even though the cops are the ones in the wrong. And then we have this video here where it specifically deals with these black elders here and how it is that the cops wanted to escalate the situation. The cops were 1,000% in the wrong, right? 1,000% in the wrong. Nobody here. It's always the blacks. They're always aggressive. They're tripping out. None of that was sitting up here happening, right? We were clearly able to see that directly from the cops' body video cam video. It wasn't from a Ring doorbell coming from the blacks. It wasn't from a recording coming from the blacks. It was coming from the white officer's body cam video. And it showed how he was in the wrong. And even though he was in the wrong, he still arrested the elder black man for no reason, right? So now going back to play this video again for the people directly in the back, where I'm just trying to figure out the point of view, the perspective of a lot of folks, a lot of white folks out here when it deals with these cops, because y'all always back the thin blue line. You always say that the cops can do no wrong and everything of the sort. But yet when it deals with this, I never see y'all online highlighting these cops, their names, the precinct. I don't see y'all writing hundreds of thousands of messages on X talking about these cops or anything of the sort, talking about the police chief, or trying to get this into the eyes of mainstream media or Fox News or whatnot or whatever. Right? Let me just play this one more time for those in the back.
Okay, and there's nothing we can do about a guy physically pulling out his and pissing on me right now. Nothing we can do with that in front of an 8-year-old girl, because I'm going to push this all over the internet and everything. And it's not the best, you guys. It's the best Maryland's law.
Listen, it doesn't make a difference if I just explained this to you.
No, I get it.
We cannot take him into custody.
And I'm not blaming you.
We're going to give you his information, and you can be referred to the commission.
And again, I'm not blaming you, because you can only do what the law is stating, right? Correct. But I'm going to make it known that I had a gentleman whip his out at a Morgan Wallen concert, piss on me, my brother, and my niece, and the Maryland State Police can do nothing about it. Not a thing. And it's absolutely okay. And they're going to say, do what you want to do if you want to press charges.
Did they give you his information?
Yep, I got his information. Can I get who's in charge of the stadium? Stadium security. Yeah. I want to have a conversation with him, please. Absolutely crazy that you can pull your out, piss on somebody, and nothing happens. Look at her. Look at her. And you guys, there's nothing. Absolutely amazing.
You can either accept it. I don't know what else to tell you.
I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the system.
Because now you're making a scene.
I'm mad at the system.
We're trying to help you.
Hold up. So let me pull that back real quick for the white folks out there. Explain this to me, right? How did this bald Keystone cop sit up here and just tell this white dude with his family that's out at a country concert where they got urinated on by some drunkard that now he's making a scene? Wouldn't you say that the person who urinated on a whole family was the one making a scene? And then notice how the cop was basically, sort of walking towards him. I'm like, and like I said, this is what I'm talking about. Even here, the cop is not practicing a thing of like de-escalation. He's not admitting any type of, lack of not doing his job or anything of the sort. They'll be like, our hands are tied. We can't really do anything. We didn't find a crime was committed. You're just going to have to sit up there and figure something out there, Chief. You're just going to have to sit up there and figure something out. You got to take, you and your native family that like to play water sports, and y'all going to have to go home and take a bath. That's just what it is. Yo, that's crazy. That is wild. Watching cops not do their job. And the crazy part is I grew up watching cops And anytime that somebody was urinating in public, they arrested them. And I'm like, yo, that's crazy. I'm like, they didn't do anything to anybody. The person was just behind a garbage can and they were just using the bathroom. Maybe they might have been drunk or whatnot or whatever, but they weren't doing anything to anybody. They were just in the alley. I'm like, hey, you don't really want to see that, but I'm like, all right, well, whatever, right? But now we move from that to cops in 2026. They're like, you got actually urinated on in public? Yo, that's wild and crazy. I'm sorry, we can't do anything. We can't make any arrests. Oh, your niece got urinated on? That's crazy. That's wild that happened. Sorry, we can't do anything about that. That's wild. That's wild.
And you just continue to just go back
I'm
and
mad
do
at the
the same
system.
thing.
I'm mad at the system.
We helped you.
You haven't helped me.
We did help you.
You haven't. You haven't helped anybody. Next time we will, and that's the problem. Question for you, sir. I'm Troy Gabaldi. How you doing? I got a question for you. If I were to whip out my right now, and I piss on somebody, would I go to jail?
I identified the guy, sir. I'm not sure
I'm
what
just asking
occurred.
a question.
I identified the individual for you. I kept him out there. I did everything I was asked to do.
I'm asking a
completely
question.
understand.
If I were to go piss on somebody right now, would you arrest me? Well, they would see you do it.
Exactly.
Okay, if I pissed on somebody right here and this gentleman came up to you and said, hey, that gentleman just pissed on this lady, would I get a...
Like I said, it's crazy. Like you just witnessed all of these cops say the exact same thing. We can't do anything. We did everything within our power. Huh? But like I said before, let me just, now this is when I got to bring race directly into, if the suspect was black, they would have arrested him. They would have tackled him. They would have tasered him. They would have beat him with nightsticks and flashlights. They would have had the K9 unit. They would have had the armed unit. They would have had armed tanks. They would have called through the FBI and the CIA and Angels with Attitude. Like, they would have did all of these things. But like I said earlier, because it's not black, it's not an attack. So therefore, this is the reaction that you get. But again, like I said before, people wonder why it is that I focus directly on race or why it is that I talk about race, because I got video examples like this, which is ridiculous. I'm against this all the way. I don't care realistically who does it, but it's the fact that this is at a country concert. We know who the population is when it deals with a country concert, and it's not a black demographic. It's going to be 99.9% white. So therefore, when I think about who potentially could have done this, I'm like, it has to be common sense. Common denominator has to be somebody that is more than likely white. Is there an off chance that it could have been a black suspect? You got less than a 1% chance. Less than a 1% chance. Like I said, look at the Country Music Awards. You don't see a sea of black folks directly about there. You don't. And I've watched. So, like I said before, for the white people out there, I try to give y'all information, try to give y'all warnings about, potential suspects that are out there that are amongst you in your community that mean to do harm or to do negative things, either to you, your family, or your community. Because I want to note how the name was never stated in the video, right? And quote unquote, the cops were like, hey, we gave you the information. Name was never stated in the video. We don't even have a picture of the man who sat up there and did it. And I'm pretty sure that somebody there at that country concert more than likely filmed that. I'm pretty sure, because I'm pretty sure you were probably able to hear, a little bit of a yell or something when that was taking place. But magically, we have no type of camera footage at the concert. We have no footage directly from the stadium that they're at. The cops held the suspect, but they don't have any footage or no pictures, and we still don't have a name. Like I said before, that's crazy. That's 1,000% crazy to me. Because like I said before, let the person have been black, you would have had all of that. People would have been taking 1,000 snapshots. There would have been mug shots. They would have grabbed Facebook photos and everything from when he was like 16, 22, 35. All of that would have been up there. Family information, job information would have been out there. Make and model of the car. Somebody magically would have saw the license plate of the car that he drove supernaturally because they were in line at the Ticketmaster getting their tickets and they saw a black being suspicious. They just knew something was up. Something wasn't right. But like I said, but when it deals with people who are normally in these communities, who are of these communities, who are of the exact same demographic, you never get that same energy. You never get that type of evidence. Magically, we don't got no CCTV cam footage, Bigfoot footage to basically show you that it was a black suspect. You mean to tell me that this stadium, normally stadiums have cameras everywhere? I'm talking about hallways and everything of the sort. There was no cameras? You can't, go to somewhere in the back where they're recording and got security, got 49 cameras. You can't go back there and find anything. I'm pretty sure if you held the guy, that means that if he was in the stadium, he more than likely has a ticket. So if he has a ticket, that means that he had to walk a certain way in order to get directly to his seat, both to and from. Which means if you can trace that, then you can also get a picture of him more than likely at the Ticketmaster. Which means if you can get a picture of him at the Ticketmaster, you can get a picture of him at the parking lot driving directly to the stadium. But for whatever reason, you got cops out here that don't want to quote unquote do detective work. Just saying. Just saying. Somebody said, if you're going to reverse it, be fair. What if the family was black? Think about that. What does that mean? I need you to write that out for me. What do you mean that you want me to reverse it? What? So instead of it being at a country concert, you want me to reverse it. So I'm guessing it would have to be at a rap concert, and the black family would have to be there, and then some unknown suspect who would not have been unknown, we would have known that it was somebody black, decided to do this to a black family there. I want you to understand this real quick. Who is this? Robert Gamil or whatever it is, right? If this happened directly to a black family and a black man is there, I want you to know that the police would have to be there in order to save the guy who urinated on that black family. I want you to know and understand that black male there would have beaten that dude directly to a pulp as if it was a bare knuckles UFC fight for the heavyweight title of the world. I want you to understand that the guy who would have urinated on that family would have to pray to every single deity in existence and the multiverse in order to save him from the hellish beating and the fists that were going to be raining down and the feet that are going to be raining down from above. More than likely, he would have been knocked over quite a few seats. It would have been looking like a bar fight at the OK Corral. You have no understanding of what it is that you're trying to reverse or specifically ask for. The black father, if we're to sit up there and reverse it, let me get this dude directly in, see if I can get him back here, right? If this was a black man here, you wouldn't even see him holding the camera. He would already be in cuffs because that's how they would treat the situation. The black father would be in cuffs because of how he brutally beat the living life directly out of the perpetrator, out of the criminal. That's what would have happened. You wouldn't have seen a black father sitting up here being able to have this back and forth with the police. He, after beating that guy who urinated on his family, he would have been sitting up there being very aggressive and argumentative with the police because the police would try to protect the criminal. Because I'm not sure if you guys actually understand what cops really do directly out here. They don't actually care about you. They're there for the protection of the government, for the businesses, for the rich. They don't have to protect you at all. That also includes you too, white people. And I've said this 99 different times. I'm sorry, 9,999 different times, that even in your communities, for the white folks out there, the police do not care about you. I've seen cops take the lives of your daughters, your unborn. I've seen your sons, your uncles, your grandfathers, in some instances, families. And y'all still don't say nothing. You still like the father was sitting up there doing. He's like, "Hey, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the current events. I'm not mad at you. I'm just mad at the laws. Why are you being so nice? You're a father. You have every justification to be enraged, to be angered that this happened directly to your family. and you decided to give over that anger and that rage. You decided to forego that because you were like, hey, I'm a law-abiding citizen and I believe in my cops. I believe in the police. Matter of fact, I back the blue. I love the guys, right? I got family that's cops. I got friends that are cops, right? My father is a retired cop, right? That's what you guys like to say. And all for them to sit up there and fail you directly in front of your face. You're the man of the family. You're the representation of a protector of safety. You're the last and the first line of defense. And you forego all of that to give that up to the police of which you worship, and they let you down directly to your face. They'll be like, hey, we get that you worship us. We get that you love us, but we can't do anything for you here. But thanks for, making sure that we're going to get our pension. Thanks to make sure that we're going to get, more money, directly to us, even though we're really not doing anything. And that any perpetrators that happen to do anything to the kids in the community, we just, let them free and, do whatever they want to do, like Batman running Arkham Asylum. That's basically who the police are. They're Batman. Batman will throw everybody into Arkham Asylum just to allow them to get right back out and commit the exact same crime because of quote unquote rehabilitation. The cops do the exact same thing in all of these communities where they will sit up there and quote unquote arrest the criminals, hold them for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year. And then after that time is done, where they get their money because of their jails, their privatized jails and all this other type of stuff, let them right back out to do the exact same thing, rinse, wash, and repeat. They're both the problem and the solution. And I've stated this to white people time and time again. And y'all still don't want to pay attention or listen, but I'm the villain. Yo, I tell you, this is 1,000% crazy. That's 1,000% crazy. 100%. This is crazy. That's crazy. Like I said, that had to hurt being a white man. And you got your family right there walking past you and knowing the fact that you could have did something, but you opted not to do anything because you allowed the powers that be to control the situation, and they just let everything go as if it's not a problem. They didn't have a care in the world. The other reason I showed off this video is to showcase the fact to a lot of white folks that, again, the people that you vote for, your dragons, that you have sent all throughout all the other communities since time began, are going to slowly but surely come directly back and enact the exact same terror, the exact same animosity, the exact same rage that they've enacted and been able to enact lawfully, legally. They're going to turn that and come right back to you. That's what dragons do. Dragons know exactly where it is that they come from, where they're born. Everything returns home. So like I said before, y'all going to have to sit up there and deal with this problem. Y'all going to have to deal with the situation. You're not going to be able to all lives this situation and sit up there and say, we all need to come together. This is a problem that we all need. No. Black Americans always been talking more than anybody else out here. We've historically been talking about the police, the corruption, and how it is that we've been treated. And we've tried to give that bat signal, that warning sign to everybody else to let them know, like, hey, if this can easily happen to us and it's allowed to happen, it's then going to sit up there and happen to you. Because like I said before, what the system likes to do is that they will run test runs and trials. They'll run some danger room type of scenarios using primarily the black community because they know that the greater majority does not care. Again, dealing with race, it's a factual thing. This is why you have a lot of toxic factories, carcinogens getting thrown directly into the air surrounding black communities and towns, especially down south. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up a lot of lawsuits where factories are being sued because of the carcinogens that are being thrown into the air, and then look at the health of the black residents there. But because y'all opted not to listen and they were able to perfect this technology, this is now why white communities are dealing with a lot of these AI cities. Well, I'm sorry. I'm stepping a little bit too forward in the future. You're dealing with these AI buildings that are releasing both noise pollution that you can't hear, that animals can hear, that's going to have an effect on the natural reoccurring life. And it's also releasing loud noise pollution of which that you can hear. On top of the fact of the carcinogens that it's throwing up, on top of the fact of quote unquote the water that it's also using and how it's affecting that as well too. So like I said, for the white folks out there, and I'm pretty sure, and I know for a fact that y'all been keeping track of these AI factories and these facilities, everything that is happening to you right now is meant to happen because you've allowed it to happen. You've orchestrated it. to happen legally. So now all of the test runs and trials that they've been doing with black communities and factories, throwing all types of things directly into the air, and they've been doing this in the small towns and cities, and y'all have allowed it to happen, and you knew about it. Now you got to sit up there and suffer the consequences of your test trials. Now they perfected it. Now it's at perfection stage, and there ain't nothing that you can sit up there and do about it. So don't be too shocked when it deals with all 50 states having these AI tech centers and everything of the sort going on. Don't be too surprised if at a point in time they start telling you, oh, we got a water shortage and everything of the sort. Don't be too surprised when they sit up there and start telling a lot of these garages, I'm sorry, not garages, a lot of the the areas where they dispose of cars, older cars, where they're like, hey, anything that's 15 to 20 years old, we got to start destroying that. We got to get rid of it. Like I said before, everything that you have allowed to happen is going to happen, and it's going to happen all over the place. So like a lot of you guys were afraid before, you don't want to go out by yourselves. You don't have to worry. Everybody's going to sit up there and suffer the consequences because of your decisions. You don't have to sit up there and have a fear of that anymore. Now you just got to sit up there and worry about the length of time. Is it going to be a short amount of time that you got to sit up there and suffer with these penalties, or is it going to be a long duration of time that you got to deal with these penalties? That's the thing that you now have to sit up there and deal with. We're past the whole thing of like, hey, it's only going to be one group suffering. Nope, nope, nope. Everybody's going to suffer, but it just matters how much and for the length of time. Like I said, people refuse to sit up there and learn directly from history. And again, white folks, I know that y'all can hear me. Beyond all of your racism and everything else that y'all want to sit up here and say, at your core what's going on directly with this country. At your core what's going on with these wars. What's happening with your foods. What's happening with the air. What's happening with the water. What's happening with the information medium that is directly out there and the messages that are being sent. Doesn't matter if it's young or old or those who are still in the womb. Everything that is taking place and happening, and you're sitting idly by and allowing it to happen. Because the only time that you realistically care is when it hits your doorstep. Or if it hits your doorstep, the only way that you'll actually technically care if it's just solely you. But if it's impacting everybody else around you, you'll still sit up there and say, stay quiet, because it's like, oh, well, I'm not the only one being affected, so it's fine. Like I said, and through all of this, even with all of this that I'm stating, you guys will still go away from this information, this conversation, go back online and do business as usual, talking about the blacks and this and that and all this other type of stuff online. And then at the same time, you'll try to turn back and say that you're not racist. In order to prove that you're not racist, you'll be like, oh, but we had a black president, Barack Obama. If America was really racist, then we would have never had a black president. That's your main go-to every single time. You have zero. You have nothing else. And that doesn't prove anything. That could have just been like, all right, well, we're tired and we're bored with seeing the same thing. Let's try something different. And that's what you did. You just, swapped the television. You changed the channel. That's all you did. Like I said, man, hey, and I'm going to just repeat this one more time. The moment in time that the country basically falls, it's not going to be at the hands of quote unquote the blacks. It's not going to be because the blacks are chimping out and it's BLM 2.0 and we're just burning down every single town and city that's white because we just hate the whites. No, 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 no. It's going to be you going to civil war with yourselves and the government and military. Everything that you created, you're going to be the ones that have to sit up there and fight that. Because you created it. You built it. You founded it. You enabled it. You legalized it. You allowed it to sit up there and run free the same exact way that y'all are trying to allow AI to sit up there and run free. The same way that you allow the government officials to sit up there and run free and sit up there and make all these buku bucks, how it is that they can go back into the stock market and double dip and be like, oh, I got insider trading information. Let me sit up there and bet directly on this and then pass a law that's going to automatically affect this so that I can get millions of dollars while all of the people that vote for me are poor and broke, white people. You're struggling. Your population is dwindling. You don't really, in a sense, see a future for yourself directly in the United States. And that was all directly by design. Had nothing to do with the blacks. But yet, you still listen to the government officials and everybody else goad you into believing that the blacks are at fault for every single thing and that we enable all these things to happen just simply because, quote unquote, going out of Africa theory, y'all brought us here. If it wasn't for the blacks, we wouldn't have to deal with this immigration problem. If we could just send them back, this whole thing would be over. Like I said, man, hey, y'all gonna have to figure this out. Y'all gonna have to sit up there and figure this out 100%. Right? But now we're gonna go. Do I want to go into the longer part of a clip? So now this is a little bit of the and more section, right? Because I know that a lot of people maybe did not see two of the videos. I did a part 1 and a part 2, dealing with Haitians. Excuse me, dealing with Haitians and how specifically they felt and wanted to state certain things dealing with Black Americans. So for those who did not get a chance to see that video, we're going to go over 2 parts here. But before we get there, I'll actually play this brother's video real quick and let y'all hear what he has to say in a response to a comment that he was able to get.
Discussion point from somebody on Twitter, and let's talk about it. See, the way that it's framed, the Immigration Act of 1965 was a beautiful humanitarian victory. We're told that because Black Americans broke the back of Jim Crow, the government decided to open its doors to the rest of the world out of the goodness of their hearts. But let's peel them layers back and you find one of the greatest political bait and switches in American history. And all of it was because of their refusal to allow Black Americans to prosper and have good things. I'm not kidding. Black Americans were put out front to supply the moral capital for a law engineered by YT elites who were playing a completely different game. Let's look at the series of events. President Johnson signed the Historic Voting Rights Act on August 6, 1965. The ink was not even dry on Black voting rights before the political establishment pivoted. Exactly 60 days later, on October 3rd, they used that exact same legislative momentum to sign the Immigration Act. And please make no mistake about it, Black leaders like Roy Wilkins fought to smash the old immigration laws because they openly banned people from Africa and Asia. See, Black Americans put their lives on the line to break the dough down, but it's more insidious than what they tell you. The establishment took that fresh Black moral authority, walked into a back room and weaponized it for their own survival. Why did the government suddenly agree to drop the racial quotas? Not kindness. They panicked. America was locked in a Cold War. The Soviet Union was winning over newly independent nations in Africa and Asia by plastering posters that said, "Why trust America? Their immigration laws literally say you aren't wanted there." So the State Department was getting humiliated on the world stage. They desperately needed a massive global PR cleanup to win a geopolitical chess match. So they used the domestic sacrifice of Black Americans as a moral shield to pass what was, in reality, a national security rebranding. To get the bill passed, the White House had to appease the segregationists blocking Congress. A notorious anti-civil rights senator named Sam Ervin stepped up and engineered the core of the bill. He called it family reunification. The logic was arrogant. Ervin looked at the country that was 90% YT and calculated that if future visas were given only to people who already had family in America, the country would naturally stay YT forever. Oh, and boy was his attempt at gatekeeping absolutely disastrously wrong. Funnily enough, this happened right at the peak of the Great Migration, when millions of Black Americans were moving into northern industrial cities looking for manufacturing jobs. Instead of protecting or investing in this newly urbanized Black workforce, the architects designed a system to appease European ethnic voting blocs, completely ignoring the economic and labor leverage of the foundational population. But here's the irony. Reactionary power structures are usually great at planning, but terrible at predicting human behavior. Their entire trap backfired because they forgot to check the global economy. By 1965, Western Europe had fully recovered from World War II. Europeans were thriving at home now. They had zero reason to migrate anymore. The YT pool the segregationists tried to protect and continue to bring over into America completely dried up. Meanwhile, communities from Asia, Latin America, and Africa saw the door left open, stepped through it, and used the segregationists' own family clauses to chain migrate at a scale the elites never saw coming. The power structure literally built the pipeline for their own demographic displacement, believing the entire time they were keeping things exactly the same. They got the faces, Black Americans. The architects got the policy. And then the policy blew up in their faces into what you are seeing today. I told y'all before they ever let Black Americans be great, they will take the ship down. And here we are.
1000% facts. 1000% fact. And this is something that I think I've stated in a live stream, probably that was like over well over like 100 live streams ago, that I've stated something similar, not to the way that he was able to express it and explain it, but in the terms of why people allowed all of this displacement, all of this migration from those from other countries to come directly over. And the other thing as well, like you said before, to do this in order to make sure that, quote unquote, Black Americans cannot be great. Anybody who is a migrant that is allowed to come here, they're put as a buffer class. It doesn't matter if they're African. It doesn't matter if they're from the islands. It doesn't matter if they're Asian or even if they're European. They're put directly in between in order to be a stopgap to make sure that, hey, all right, we saw the potential, the possibilities, which y'all were able to do with Black towns and cities and everything of the sort. So we're going to allow other people in, and we're going to give these other people what it is that you've been asking for, begging for, what you've been protesting for, what you've marched for, right? What you've outwardly cried for, and better yet, in a sense, what it is that you actually deserve. We're going to give all of that directly over to all of these other people that have a clean slate. They don't have a stake in this country. We don't have, race relations. We've never done anything horrible to them, anything of the sort. We're going to do that for them because we know that if we give this to these other individuals, that they're going to love us. They're going to be by our sides, and then they're going to protect and do everything that we want them to do when it deals with dealing with you. And you've been able to see this with every single group directly out here, how those groups will come directly over here and they'll specifically have a problem or talk down or talk badly about Black Americans because they feel like they got an upper leg. They feel like they have an edge. They feel like they are being pedestalized, and they're not. They're being fed a placebo. And this is why you see a lot of these folks, it doesn't matter if they come from Haiti or elsewhere, now they're dealing with this whole TPS and everything else when it deals with the Trump administration. Like I told people before, it doesn't matter if they are able to legally vote or if they can't legally vote and they're just siding specifically with the conservative Republican parties. Again, this is the effect. You thought that it was going to be beneficial for you to go against Black Americans when realistically you were going against yourselves. And now you're finding that out. Like I said, Haitians had their own songs. Hispanics had their own songs. A lot of these other groups had their own songs when it dealt with the Trump administration. And they wanted to pedestalize and they wanted to prop them up as the next coming of Christ. And then they were the next things going out. Because that's exactly what happened. You got people getting deported. You got people in limbo and everything of the sort. Because people didn't want to sit up there and listen to Black Americans because they were told that they are better than. And this is the exact same trick that they've been able to do, and it still works. It's the craziest thing. It's just the craziest thing, right? But now let's go directly into part one of the video that I had gave directly on the platform. Let's take a look at that.
About speaking multiple languages.
I mean, I would be jealous too, but if I wasn't Haitian, if I was not born Haitian, I would be jealous as well. I would hate us too. I understand it is a great way to be this resilient, to be this smart, and yet to be this hated. I get it. I mean, I get it. It's kind of like, it's very dehumanizing,
Hold on.
honestly.
Let me address King AD in the comment real quick. Hey, man, I don't know why you so hateful towards other people, bro, but it's something you got to figure out amongst yourself, bro. I think it's time for you to sit down, pick up a book, bro, and be calm,
No,
dog.
King AD, so Haitien, we petit.
He's Haitian?
Yeah.
Yo, he lucky.
I think you're misreading. I think you're misreading what he's saying because he writes in all caps.
Okay, so I
You're misunderstanding him. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I don't think he said anything wrong.
I feel like once Haitian realize how amazing and great we are, like collectively, like once we're no longer like trying to validate our identity to anybody, like once like we've taken our responsibility and be the person that we were meant to be outside of all of our trauma, outside of like all of the unrest, when we're able to actually stay safe, like best in belief, everybody's going to like have to figure out some like another way to make money. Like you would have to.
If I'm being respectful, why you keep cutting me off? If I'm being respectful,
somebody else is talking. You have to wait your turn.
I've been waiting patiently. I respect what you live.
Okay, you can go after Rochelle.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But yeah, it's just like Si yo te como si intelligent or be smart, they would just try to learn from us. But no, hate. It's okay. It's all right. It's fine. We're here.
You
We're
want them
here.
to learn from us. Você vai o bem muito sabe jogar no lá.
Okay, Sir Mo, I guess it's
They
your
are
turn
the
now.
blueprint.
Thanks.
Okay, see, this is where I get tired of, where a lot of these other groups, they want to tell Black Americans that they are the blueprint. No, maybe you're the blueprint for yourself. Maybe, just maybe, you are the blueprint for yourself, for those in your community. You were never the blueprint for Black Americans at all. Like I said, the exact same lies that they want to keep weaving and telling directly online. Like I said, it's a whole group of them directly in this chat. So of course they're going to sit up there and agree. Of course, if you got somebody who is not of them and they're speaking, they're going to be rude. They're going to use that, like the Haitian woman tried to sit up there and say, like, yeah, if they were intelligent, if they were smart, they would just sit up there and learn from us. Learn what? Learn how to run? Learn how to flee? Like I said, last time I checked, you got people over there in Haiti earning $3 a day. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Haiti is destabilized. Haiti has a huge problem. Like, people always want to talk about Black Americans and crime. Haiti has a huge gang problem, a huge crime problem, a huge gun problem, a huge DV problem when it deals with women and young girls over there. But yet these are the same folks who want to get online and they want to start popping off at the gums, making it seem as though that, you know, they got some stuff that Black Americans can learn directly from. Like, they're the blueprint for what? Running and fleeing. We ain't running and fleeing directly up over there. I best believe you do not have Black Americans like, I'm tired of the United States. Let me sit up there and run and flee to Haiti right now. That's obviously the best, you know, main course for me to sit up there and do for me and my family. What Haitians don't even want to sit up there and go back? What does that sit up there and tell you? But you want to sit up there and say that you're the blueprint. You want to be disrespectful and talk about Black Americans in this type of way. Like I said, we are the reason that you're able to be here comfortably. But you're the blueprint. That's crazy.
So I'd like to get a statement and get a rebuttal, but let me complete the statement. I don't want people, because I haven't talked over anybody. One of the ladies earlier, I don't know who it was, she said that who invited us over here? Who said that they needed nurses and stuff? That was our State Department. And if you know about FBA, we've been fighting this country the whole time. We just a small percentage in this country. We've been fighting. When the dude said, when the other FBA guy said,
Yeah, and then I had to give her my book to give me.
Hey, Risky, mute yourself. Mute
when the
yourself.
other,
I'm sorry, guys. Hold on.
when the other FBA guy said that we're tired of putting on the cape and everybody exploded, I think what he was trying to say was that my grandmother, so it's not way back in history. My grandmother, she just passed, but she was part of that civil rights, and she and her and my mother explained to us that after the 65 Civil Rights Act, that our community was out there trying to get other people of color to come in because they wouldn't let other people of color come in. There's Cuban Hispanics and all that, and then what we discovered is when y'all got here. Like the lady earlier that was just being, I don't know what that was about. Yeah, we speak 3 languages. That's respectable. I wish I could speak 3 languages. But the way you say it, it's sort of like you saying like, y'all don't do that. That's what we got when y'all came here. Y'all immediately,
Mo,
listen
did you
to
know?
me. I'm gonna
Mo,
shut
did
up.
you
I'm gonna
know there
shut
was
up.
Haitian in
Let
the
me
civil
finish making
rights
my
also?
statement, ma'am. Ma'am, please let me make my statement. I swear to God, I'll let you speak because I'm trying to be respectful. Everybody's talking over each other and we not going to find out where we at. I agree with the lady that said that the people up top is sitting here laughing at us fighting with each other.
Let me just pause right there. I keep trying to tell people, the moment in time, it don't matter how you agree or how you try to do this olive branch type of thing. They do not care. They don't care. Like I say, you got the oldest one there. You can clearly tell that as an older Haitian woman because she keep going back and forth from English to Creole or whatnot or patois, whatever it is. And again, speaking in her own language, making, like I said, that's how disrespectful that a lot of people like to sit up there and get. When they want to sit up there and talk and they want to talk over or above people, they'll sit up there and do a language swap. They'll be like, let me sit up there and showcase this. And then also let me talk about you while you're here in front of your face, but you don't know what it is that I'm saying. But everybody else that is a part of my community, they know what it is that I'm saying. and then you'll sit up there and hear them back and forth doing this whole thing again, being rude, being disrespectful, right? Let's keep going.
We fighting with each other over misunderstanding because we can't even have a conversation. And I'm gonna stop. But that's our impression. When y'all came over here, we had the impression that we would have other people of melanated skin that will help us make this country the country that it needs to be. It's a glorious country. There's wonderful people here. Great land, great opportunities. But we've been fighting the whole time we're here. We know who we up against. You people come in as foreigners and you're brand new, and I understand that you want to assimilate the power because you want to be a success. But those people that you are assimilating with are the people that we fought against. So we're saying that the State Department brings a whole bunch of people in to disenfranchise us because they know we fight them. They know we fight them. Everybody else is just trying to find a place within the system. We trying to break the system down and have a system of justice. You know what I mean? So that's what, when we see Haitians or Jamaicans or Nigerians and they come over here and they get those jobs, it's not that we jealous of the jobs, because we understand that that man knows who you are. Yep. He knows who you are. He knows exactly what he's doing. But y'all seem like y'all too eager and giddy to ride with them. And you ain't nobody
we
coming.
should take the job. We should.
Yeah, instead of coming
It sounds like jealousy.
like if you would have came to
Saying that we should take the job.
if you'd have came to us, if you would have had a conversation with us instead of just, and I'm not talking about you specifically, I'm just talking about I'm talking about the culture. If the cultures that came over,
So we gotta have a conversation with the culture.
Hold on a second. Let him finish.
Let him finish because I'm
Essa é uma bia, eu jalousie. Eu tenho filhos, jalousie andando.
Let him finish
No,
because I
if
have
the
to say
people,
something.
yes, ma'am. If the people that came over here, from whatever country they're from, we're not picking on Haitians, we're not picking on that. We're talking about melanated people. The melanated people that came over here, if they would have came over here and had conversations with us, we could have told y'all how to move in them circles. But y'all told us.
Hold on for a second. You finished, sir?
I can't believe you're serious right now. You can't be serious.
Because
why can't I be
you just
serious
say
if I'm
right
from
here,
here?
it's a lie.
Oh, let me just pause it. Like I said, this man is trying to make a very valid point. He was like, hey, if y'all would have just basically came directly to us as a group, would have had a conversation, we could have educated you on how it is that these people, in a sense, move. Because you opted, because you yourself, as a Haitian or whatever, you opted not to sit up there and come to us to have a conversation. You just automatically came over and sided directly with the power structure. This is how we have the situations. This is how we have the divisiveness and everything else that is, taking place at this moment in time. And with him explaining that, you saw how the Haitians did. The one Haitian dude, ha ha ha, you can't be serious. We gotta go, have a conversation with the culture. Like, do you even know what you're saying? Do you understand? Like I said before, this is what happens. This is exactly because they don't care. They got what it is that they got. They're happy with their placement. They're not trying to do anything else. This is why when you look at black communities, they always have like these little slices out here. Was like, we got a little Haiti. We got this, we got that. Everything that is completely separate from Black Americans. Like I said before, they make sure to quote unquote delineate. They make sure to sit up there and separate themselves from us when they make and create their own communities within our community. Again, that is the disrespect. Right? But let's keep going.
Why can't I be serious? It's like this. If I went to look, ma'am, if I went to Haiti, I don't know nothing about Haiti, and I don't know how to speak French, and I don't know how to speak Creole. What would I look like going to Haiti and acting like I know how to move in Haiti? I don't. So that's the same thing.
They know how to move without asking you.
But you don't. But you don't.
Wait, I would like to say something. Can I say something for a second?
One mic,
MJV,
Rashad and Nila.
When we came here in the 80s and the 90s, the Black American did not give us the chance to find out who you're fighting with, because you guys was fighting with us. You guys was bullying us.
Y'all was bullying
us. Was doing all the wrong to us. So how do you expect us to talk to you when you were the problem to us?
So let me just pause this real quick. I want y'all to understand and know that Haitians primarily live in 4 places out of all 50 states. Black Americans pretty much live in all 50 states, right? No matter how minute the population or how large or how medium the population is, we're pretty much all over the United States. Haitians primarily are in 4 areas out of the 50 states. So she and many other Haitians want to keep bringing up this whole thing, like, oh yeah, it was, you Black Americans, you were doing this to us. You were beating us up. You were jumping us. You were taking our lives and all this other type of stuff. You do realize that if you are in proximity, right, chances are you're going to be affected by whatever's going on in proximity. How automatically you're trying to make it seem as though that primarily Black Americans were just solely, we stopped everything that was going on just to solely go after the new people that came in there, and we were just relentless. We were going after y'all. We were just taking y'all directly out, dwindling down y'all numbers, making sure that y'all didn't exist. That is ridiculous. That is 1,000% ridiculous. That's not how we move. But I'll put it like this. If there is an instance, right, from what these Haitians are saying, that they were specifically attacked by some Black Americans directly out there, why is it that y'all keep crying about it? Why ain't y'all never settled that with those families? Why ain't y'all never settle it with those people from back during that time period? Why are you bringing all of that to now as if like I said, I never grew up or known any Haitians. let me make it the same way I said about the Asians. I didn't know Asians existed, even anywhere around my area up until I went to high school. That's why I started seeing Asians. I didn't know anything about no Haitians up until adulthood because I didn't grow up around y'all. I didn't work around y'all. Understand what I'm saying? Like I said before, like it's ridiculous how they want to make this broad brush and they want to sit up there and say, look at what the Black Americans that was doing to us, as if all 40 or 50 million Black Americans were really just trying to like hawk down on Haitians. Come on, dog. Y'all can't even be specific in what it is that y'all talking about. And like I said before, they got all of this energy for Black Americans, but they never had this energy for white people. Didn't they say that America destabilized Haiti? Where's that energy at for the United States? Nowhere. For the sitting presidents? Nowhere. For the congressmen and people in the Senate? Nowhere. Nowhere. That's crazy. But yet y'all got this 1804 energy, quote unquote, and y'all want to sit up there and start pulling up online and start talking about Black Americans and doing all of this other type of stuff. 1804 energy, though. That's wild. I don't see no 1804 energy talking about, yo, France, run us that money back. I don't see y'all doing no 1804 energy with that. I don't see y'all getting loud and proud about that directly online, making live streams and videos. I don't see the Haitians going directly to the UN in droves, both from Haiti and in the United States, talking about like, yo, UN, we need y'all to have a conversation with France to run us back that money real quick because we need that. I don't see y'all doing that. But y'all got all of this mouth specifically for Black Americans. Let's keep going.
Breach.
Please explain to us. Come on.
You gotta mute yourself, bro.
Oh,
So
I'm
why I
sorry.
can't answer that. The reason why I can't answer that question is because I didn't do it, and I didn't see any my people do it. And maybe we didn't go to school with a whole bunch
Well,
of.
I seen it.
That right there.
I
See,
went
you
to
see
an
that? Hold on. You
all-black
see that right
school.
there? You see that right there? It's the same exact way when Black people are saying, talking about the harm that white people have done to Black people historically when it comes to slavery and things. And white people immediately said I never enslaved anybody. I didn't do it. I wasn't
Good
there. Get
point.
over it.
Good
You're
point.
losing.
Good
You're
point.
using the
No, good
same
point.
verbiage.
Actually, no, we're not. I got a photographic book detailing all of that information. Anything that they used to have on postcards. Like I said, we know for a fact that the great majority of white folks that respond in that way, we know that they're lying because we know about the slave patrols into turning into the police. We know about how the military and the government was also used directly upon us. We know how sitting officials during the time saw and deemed Black Americans and how they openly expressed these sentiments outwardly and openly. We know how this works. When it deals with Haitians, this is not the same thing. We got history dealing with this. This history is also in certain instances, depending on the rewriting, it's been taught in schools at certain points. As of now, I don't know what they're teaching these kids. At this moment in time, they're trying to teach kids that slavery didn't exist and everything was kumbaya. And, that's how America was built. But again, at certain points in time in history, when it dealt with people learning about what specifically happened in the United States, we know who were the main parties We know who was the main factor that dealt with picnics, that dealt with black men and women, ending up in places, you know, um, as Christmas tree ornaments and everything of the sort. We know who was the primary factors in those situations and those stories. So when we sit up there and call them out for it, we do it because we know that they're lying. You, my friends, when it deals with the Haitians, again, it's not the exact same thing. And as the other gentleman said, he didn't grow up around Haitians, nor did I. I didn't see any of this happen. He didn't see any of this happen, nor did I. Again, they can't even be specific on the groups and people directly out there. On top of that, think about this for a second. How many other groups have come here more than likely before these large groups of Haitians, and they've decided to cosplay as Black Americans? Like I said, in a lot of these instances, some of these folks from the islands, they don't even register or realize that some people are even their people. I had a video I showcased a while ago where it was, I think it was like two Nigerians or maybe like two Haitians, and they were just sitting up there like talking, and he was like, yo, I would have never even had realized that you was like one of ours, like if we didn't chop it up and had this conversation. And this was when they traded phone numbers. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. A lot of people don't even know, because a lot of these folks who come here, they automatically cosplay, Black Americans. They don't cosplay nobody else. They're not trying to mimic nobody else. They cosplay Black Americans. And within that, they even fool their own people. They don't even know who their own people is because of how well disguised they are. So like I said, a lot of these Haitians don't even know that more than likely you have some other people from the islands that y'all got problems with that were sitting up there really getting on y'all and doing all of this other type of stuff to y'all. Let's keep going.
That's true.
And it's minimizing people's experience, and you don't want us to minimize your
But I'm not
experience.
trying to minimize
But
it. I just gave you, I said
that's
that's a good
literally
point.
right. Understood. But that's literally what just happened. You minimize an experience. She just told you, and you have to understand
Please
something.
have a conversation, ma'am. I'm
When we
agreeing
came,
with you.
when I
I'm
said I
agreeing with you.
understand, I said I understand that. I said I understand that. But you have to remember, when
Because
people
she
came
don't
into the
care.
United States, they didn't just say you could go anywhere. We are Black too. They did not want us in the white communities, the Asian communities, whatever. They redlined us into the Black communities. That's where they placed us. We had no choice but to come in there. And people who have come there, my parents in particular, have experiences with Black Americans. Unfortunately, you
Right.
have Black Americans who have made YouTube videos talking about, well, when the Haitians came here, they look different from us. They dress different. They sound different. They look more African. Their hair was different. We
Okay.
saw them and they were different from us.
Okay.
And it was just our opportunity to on somebody, because people have been on us for so long, and we just found an opportunity to on somebody, and that's what
What?
happened. So my parents spoke about being attacked by Black Americans. My mother talked about how my father would come home with bloody head because he was being robbed, and we don't even want to say it out loud. And that's the thing. We never want to say it out loud because we don't want to portray Black Americans as violent, because because Black Americans get that enough in this country, and we do not want to
Yes.
contribute to that. So we've
Thank
kept
you,
it quiet
sister.
for so long now, and the reason why this is coming up again is because people are using that girl who said that thing about Black Americans, and y'all using it as a weapon. And now you're forcing us to go back in history to bring back what Black Americans did to us in this country in the 80s and 90s. We literally was marching in New York on the Brooklyn Bridge because people were talking about how Haitians was coming here with HIV and all this other stuff. We've been dealing with a lot of from a lot of people for a long time. We are
And
speaking
Haitian
up about
smell.
it
Matter of
now.
fact, they were saying Haitians have a
And that's
smell.
the
Talk
thing.
about that
And
too.
you said you don't know who we are combating. Sir, do you even know who Haitians are? We've been combating white supremacy from the very beginning. And that's how we started. That's how we became the first Black free republic in the world, because we know who our enemies were. But when somebody has an opportunity, they're going to take that opportunity to do what? To save themselves and their children. If you have a starving children, you don't have an opportunity to get a job, and then somebody's offering it to you, of course you're going to go and take the job to help preserve your family and your children. But y'all making it seem like people come here and they come here to on Black Americans or try to replace them. We not.
So let me just pause it right there. She said a lot of stupid stuff, but let me just clarify something real quick. I've covered a lot of videos on how different groups of people, both Africans and Hispanics and others, once they start getting into a position of power, of management, or somebody who can really control the hiring process, they make sure to hire their own people. So for her to sit up there and say that they and other people are not trying to come over here and replace and trying to displace and do all of these other types of things is a flat out lie. Black Americans, if we see somebody that's a hard worker, we'll give anybody a shot. It could be our family, it could be a friend, somebody directly on the street or whatnot or whatever. If you got the qualifications, if you can do what needs to be done, we're willing to sit up there and hire you and sit up there and give you a shot, right? Other folks out here, they're like, nah, we're not really going to do that. We're going to look out for our own people. We're going to hire our families. Like I said, look at a lot of Indian restaurants that are not even Indian. Let's say like a KFC, a Church's Chicken, and many other places that you've gone. How many times do you always see a whole bunch of Indians there? Why do you see a whole bunch of Indians? Because somebody who is Indian is over that establishment, and they'll make sure to employ their own people. The same thing with some KFCs and different things. Whoever is over that, they will make sure to always employ their own people first, second, and third, and everybody else is dead last. So to sit up here and say that it's a completely even thing and that, you know, it's the get along club, it's a complete lie. It's a complete facade. And like I said, this guy is sitting up here still agreeing directly with them, and they're not caring. That Haitian woman, she was like, "Yeah, I hear you. I get that, sir. I get that, sir. I get." Like I said, she's saying that she doesn't care. She's saying that you can keep agreeing, you can keep siding with us all you want to. You're still Black American. We are Haitian. We are not going to see eye to eye. We are not going to agree about this. That's what she's saying. So she's and essentially telling him to shut up without saying it. Let's keep going.
Trying to replace. We just trying to work and get our money and be left alone just like everybody else. We just want to be unbothered like everybody else. Remember, they redlined us too. They disenfranchised us too. They criminalized us too.
Okay, so
y'all
what do you
add
think?
to that. Let me say this. Y'all add to that. Majority of schools that we went to over here, it was Black Americans bullying majority of other races. I said that already. I went to a school where it was a lot of blacks and a lot of kids that come in there. If they were not Black American, bruh, they was gonna get bullied. They was gonna get jumped, and they just wasn't gonna have the best experience of being a kid just because they was from another country, bro.
Okay,
And
so
So let me just touch directly on that being from Detroit. There is a school. Some people may know what I'm talking about. Let me see if I can get the school right. It wasn't Most Holy Trinity. It was no, maybe it was Most Holy Trinity, or it might have been a different one. But some of my Detroiters may know. It was like a Catholic or whatever type of school. It wasn't that far from Tiger Stadium, and that was a school that I went to in elementary, and it was only for like 1 year. And I realized, I'm like, yo, we actually got like other people like here, like in Detroit that ain't Black. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. I thought it was cool. Like I said, we got what we call like Mexican town or whatnot or whatever down there. Like then I think it should be like Southwest Detroit or whatnot. Again, by Tiger Stadium and whatnot. And I sat up there and was there with a few Mexican kids and all this other type of stuff, and everybody got along. I never seen an instance where Black kids were deciding, oh, we're about to sit up there and jump the Mexican or Hispanic kids. Like, yeah, we're going to formulate gangs. We're about to just sit up there and get after them and get them on about it. I ain't never see that. So again, I don't know what these Haitians are talking about when they want to say that, oh, I went to a Black school, and what the Blacks would do is that anybody that was different, they would automatically fight them and jump them and all this other stuff. I don't know what he's talking about. Like I said, they need to specifically speak on that area and that place instead of trying to say that it was, pretty much all Black Americans doing this, or we all got this mentality. Crazy work. Let's keep going.
You know what Haitian Friday? Do you know what Haitian Friday is? Do you know what that is?
Never heard of it.
Okay, right. Do you have Haitians in your community or have close proximity with Haitians on a daily basis?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so that's my confusion.
So what's your problem with Haitians?
Exactly,
You
that's
don't
my
even have
confusion.
Haitians.
I don't have
A
a
lot of
problem.
people tend
I
to
don't
have
have a
issues
problem.
with
I don't know
immigrants
why
that they
you
don't
trying
have
to
close proximity
make it
with. But
seem like I do
I'll
have a
explain it
problem.
to you. But I'll explain it to you. Haitian Friday, especially if you lived in the North, like in New York and Boston and things like that, and down south in South Florida, there's called Haitian Friday or Haitian Jump Day, where Black Americans would come together and beat the out of a Haitian. Many Haitians have passed away, have been paralyzed, have been left mangled because of that. Children, and it wasn't just children getting beat up with by other children. It was also adults beating up children that were Haitian, and it was also adults beating up other adults because they were Haitian. So the bullying, the vitriol, the jumping, all that stuff, they learned that from their parents because, you know, you learn things from your parents. You learn violence and
So
rhetoric.
you said this was in the 80s and 90s?
80s and 90s, and it stopped towards the early 2000s. In the early 2000s,
No, it
like
didn't.
around
No, it didn't. It
2005
only
to
slowed down.
2008. Yeah, around 2005,
So
2010, it started really slowing down because Haitians started becoming popular around 2010. But
So let me just slow this down real quick. I guess you mean Haitians were becoming popular because of Kodak Black or something like I don't know. But I'm not sure how popular you're sitting up here talking because I never saw Black Americans running around with Haitian flags. Like usually, if something is popular in the Black community, you'll see Black people really run around with like a whole bunch of stuff. I never seen Black Americans running like you saw millions deep running around in the hood with like Haitian flags, knowing that I ain't never seen this. But Haitians became popular. And then when the Haitian woman, she was speaking her point, she was like, yeah, basically, pretty much this happened during the 80s and 90s. But then in the 2000s, or when it got closer to 2000s, it didn't exist no more. You heard the Haitian dude. He was like, no, it only slowed down. It only slowed down. What? Didn't y'all sit up and say that y'all created gangs in order to stop a lot of this from happening? So what do you mean it slowed down? What do you mean it slowed down? If it slowed down, that would mean that there should be fields of Haitians out there hunting for the Blacks. Right, still going back and getting back at people, but they're not. That's not what's happening. So I'm a little bit confused on what you mean that it's slowed down. Well, let's keep going.
And throughout that entire time, and that's what 20 30 years of Haitians fighting for their lives against Black Americans simply for being Haitian. This is something that there's documentaries about it. Again, you don't even have to leave this app.
Name the documentary.
You don't have to leave this app. I can't think of
hold on.
Where on the app can I find?
Let me
Haitian
tell you.
Friday?
No. Let me tell you. You can go on YouTube. Funky Dineva, which he is an African American from Miami, came out
Just
and
punch
he said,
in
I
Haitian
know
Friday,
exactly
and it
who
should
that
pop up.
is. And I
type in
highlighted his
Funky
video.
Dineva talking about Haitians and how Haitians were being relentlessly bullied for being Haitian. Now, I also want to add this, right? Because I think that a lot of y'all,
Hey, I have a Black American friend, and he's gonna tell you about his experience. He just walk off. He say he gonna come back. He gonna tell you about his experience with them bullying Haitians, bro, in New York.
Okay, I'm getting ready to learn something.
Hold on. So here's the thing, right? You just said that we didn't ask you no questions, and MJ, I like that MJB said there wasn't even a lot of time to ask questions because of how we were treated. But then again, at the flip side, there's a group of you, FBA people, that said that we're here and we're stealing your culture and we're trying to be like you. So which one is it? It's either we're trying to be like you or we have not, or we're assimilated. So I'm trying to really understand what exactly your talking point.
No, there's no simulation. There's cosplaying. You can cosplay as Black Americans in order to fit in order to make stuff easier directly for you, so that you don't, in a sense, stick out like a sore thumb when you're here in these United States. You can easily do that. Like I said, I've highlighted Africans who do this, where they will sit up there and cosplay or take on certain aspects of Black American culture, and then once they start making it, once they get their degrees, they get their money directly up, and they doing this and they doing that, now that's when they want to start flag banging. They want to start, yeah, we Nigerians, we in here, we kings, we in here, all this other type of stuff. But before then, y'all ain't really trying to wave no type of flags. Y'all ain't trying to, be all high and mighty and all this other type of stuff. Case in point, I even take it back to Burna Boy. And I got to do that video when I remind myself. There's a clip of, no, actually, I think I actually gave you guys that clip in a previous video. There was a clip of Burna Boy when he was on a podcast, and he said himself that there was a certain point in time where he was not proud to be Nigerian. He didn't say that he wasn't proud to be Nigerian because of Black Americans, because of fear of Black Americans, because he was in fear of being jumped or whatnot or whatever. He said specifically because of during the time of the place and the representation of Nigeria and everything of the sort, it was not looked highly to state that you are Nigerian or from Nigeria. So Burna Boy, he was like, what I did was I took things from black culture. So, you got like the Tupac, the Biggie, and all of that, like all of like, let's say things dealing with like New York and maybe potentially some stuff of during, down south during that time. And he emulated that as something to be proud of, as something to like and love basically about himself, even though that is not of him. And he said it wasn't up until later, basically when he became an older male, right, when he began getting proud and stating loudly that he is Nigerian. It's the same thing with a lot of these other folks. Like I said, they be getting on a lot of these lives and whatnot, lying. They make it seem like, yeah, black Americans just hated them, and these folks are just always proud of. Nah. A lot of people do not come over here all proud, loud, and high and mighty. No. Like I said, Nigerians don't. They don't initially start off like that. Trust me. That's not what be happening. I ain't never sit up there and seen any time of like high school when I was there. I ain't never seen none of them African kids sitting up there flag banging. They wasn't sitting up there doing that. It wasn't up until recently that now all of these Africans, they want to start sitting up there showing off their flags and start doing all these dances and talking about we in here, we making money and we doing better than the black Americans and rah, rah, rah. Like I said, initially, y'all wasn't high and mighty and doing all of this. And like I said, I really feel like the 2010s, she must be talking about like Kodak Black or something. Because that's really the only Haitian rapper that I know of at this moment in time that I can list to you off the top of my head that I've even listened to. I can't give you anybody else. But let's continue.
Is it what it, because
Will,
we don't
will you
know.
allow somebody to answer the question, or we just
No,
gonna
I'm
keep
not,
talking?
because I'm speaking. Shut up. I'm speaking and you keep going on and coming up your mic. By the way, I'm the one that's muting you. So
Oh, all right.
if you guys sit there and try to play these games with us like as if we're a bunch of idiots and we don't understand what's going on, we don't know what you want. It's either you wanted us to ask you for help, or we're trying to be like you. I don't know
You're
what. I don't
asking a
know.
question and I'm trying to answer it. I really am.
Let me guess, she muted him again.
Okay, I'll bring you back up when I'm done speaking, because obviously you don't know. You not only do you not listen, the thing is, I don't know where your ears on your head or if it's in your butt, and you sitting on it. And
see, that's what I'll be talking about. Like, this is the same woman that was talking and interrupting the whole time. But the moment in time that you present a question to somebody who I'm guessing is Black American wants to give an answer and or a response, you're like, no, I don't need you to respond. I don't want you to respond. I'm tired of you over talking. I'm tired of you. I'm trying to talk, and I'm tired of you, trying to that you were doing this the whole, like, this is what I'll be talking about with them. They be some of the most disrespectful folks. And then a moment in time, like I say, he did all of this agreeing for the greater duration of this video. It's like, yeah, I agree. It's like, I hear what y'all sit up and saying. I'm going to sit up there and learn something today. I didn't know that was happening. It don't matter how much you sit up there and agree with. They do not care. They do not care. They're not looking for you to be some type of ally. They're not trying to formulate no type of friendship or anything. Like I said, you are viewing and seeing the disrespect happen in 4K. You're able to hear it. And like I said, she sat up there and knocked the dude right back down into the comment section. Like I said, everybody up there is pretty much Haitian. So there's not going to be any type of pushback. All they're going to do is just sit up there and agree. It's like, yeah, that happened. Yeah, we were going through this. Yeah, we were suffering this. That's it. Like I said, it's just like a lot of these other podcasts where you got Africans that want to make a podcast talking about Black Americans, but yet when they want to critique us and say all of these things, they make sure not to have no Black Americans up there because they ain't trying to deal with that energy. Because they know automatically they're going to get some pushback. And especially if you got a brother up there or some folks up there that's highly educated and knowledgeable about history. Oh, yeah, they don't want that. They're not even trying to sit up there and deal with that. That's when all of them will sit up there and start trying to jump and over talk. But like I said, they try to make it seem like Black Americans are problematic. Let's continue.
that's what happens with a lot of y'all. That's why I brought up Lil Tommy. So the thing is, you guys will have these things where you guys will sit there and try to berate us for being Haitian. And I love that someone said that earlier. It is jealousy. Because all throughout the comments, I'm hearing, go back home, go be proud at home. You have an issue with us being proud here in America. Why? Why is that
Yes,
bothering you?
I said it.
Because
Yep.
we are not in any way impeding on you. If I'm ripping my flag, I saw the reason why I'm so bold to say it, I saw it with my own 2 eyes. I was also in school here in America.
Suck.
Your
Shut up.
mama,
Stupid.
your
You
mama
shut
do
up,
that in
boy.
her.
Boy,
Your mama do that in
you in your own country and you can't do in your country, boy.
your mama do that here, and you out here running your damn
Yeah,
mouth.
and she do it for free. Just like you came up here dick eating,
Look, you
boy.
guys, chill for a second, because I hear the back and forth about the bullying,
Stupid.
right? So we
No,
talk
no,
about that a lot,
Imani,
but this,
Imani, let me finish. Let me finish because you see, that's the type of stuff that's happening. It ain't no back and forth. It's them. And then every time we say that, oh, it's both sides. It ain't no back and forth. It's always a group of people who want to be able to come on here and say whatever they want to us, and then we supposed to be like, be quiet, keep our heads down and don't respond. No, that's not gonna happen. You tell me
That's what they used to do to us back then.
I'm a mud pie eating person. Map doing my guy too. How about that?
Notice
So
his
no,
his picture was like a was a blackface. It was a minstrel show, a minstrel image.
This how some of them talk to their women too. That's crazy.
I
exactly.
actually really want to go back to.
So let me just pause there real quick because they said a few things. So the older Haitian woman that kept running her mouth this whole time, just interrupting, and she wanted to make it seem like Black Americans are the problem. She's like, oh yeah, see, this is what they do. This is what they do. It's not us that's the problem. It's them. Ma'am, you've been interrupting, even having a dude that's trying to agree, olive branch, middle ground, all this other type of stuff. And you heard one of the younger Haitian women, she was like, yeah, and this is how they talk to their women. So when I sit up there and tell y'all that Haitians are not Black American, that they are not of us or part of us, I mean just that. You heard what the Haitian woman said. She was like, yeah, and that's how they talk to their women. She didn't say that's how they talk to Haitian women. She said their women. Like I said, that means that there is a separation. That means that we are not the same. So when I sit up there and tell y'all, when people are like, hey, you got a lot of delineation and divisiveness going on out. Yeah, that's not coming from Black Americans. We're only responding from what it is that we've been hearing and getting directly from decades from all of these groups of people. But like I said, you hear it live in the flesh from these Haitians out here, how they deem and see Black Americans, how it is that we are not the same. Like I said, it's just some crazy work out here. Let's keep going.
The Immigration Act that he brought up, because he said his grandma told him, and I wanted to ask him,
I gotta go, guys.
other than his grandma telling him that, what did he research? What did he know? What does he know? Because I hear so much about this. Y'all wasn't able to come here. We helped y'all come here, which is, it's not true. It's not true. For many, many people, there were quotas. So yes, a lot of the Asian countries, China, Japan, their numbers were put to like 0, where they did not want them to immigrate to the United States. However, now we're talking about Black people, right, from the Caribbean. At that time, many of these Caribbean countries that exist today, or commonwealths that we call them today, did not exist. So it was basically just Haiti, Dominican Republic, Cuba, and maybe I'm forgetting another one, right? So their quotas fell under whatever their commonwealth country would be. So that would be whether it's Great Britain or France, etc. And most of those people were not even trying to come to the US. They would go to whatever their commonwealth country would be, because naturally many of them were citizens of said country. But when someone says y'all wasn't allowed to come here, you're talking about a visa that I have to qualify for, that I have to prove my funds, that I have to pay for, that I have to pay for my travel. What are you talking about?
No,
the quotas were for, let's say, the Western Hemisphere, which is where we are. And it was 120,000 for the entire Western Hemisphere for people to get visas. So after the act, it was still 120,000 for the Western Hemisphere. So what doors were being open to what? The only thing that changed is that they said, okay, well, we're going to divide the 120,000 by country. So each country now, you get 20,000, you get 20,000 visas, but the number didn't get bigger. It's still 120,000 total for the entire hemisphere. So what are we really talking about? And when you get a visa, you're basically competing with the next person from where you're from. You need to qualify for a visa. So there was nobody after the act just opening up the doors for Black immigrants to come and live the American experience. People were fighting, and let's not negate and let's not forget that Black people who immigrated here were here way before this act. So, lem jol santi sa yo ap ouvri dan pou yo, pi yo vin di, yo te fe moun ka entre ici, yo te fe moun pat ka dis. That is bull. The act, really, who it really helped are Asian immigrants. It helped the Chinese. It helped the Japanese. But it didn't do anything for Black people, especially on this.
No. And see, this is why we're talking about when they be swapping. Like I keep telling people to pay attention. At one moment, when they sitting up there talking to Black Americans, oh yeah, we're Haitians. We're not Black American. We're Haitians. We're Haitians. We're proud Haitians. We got our flags. We got our culture. We got this. We got that. And now when she wants to sit up there and do this victim type of thing, oh no, it didn't do anything for Black people. No, sweetheart. No. Black Americans never had to apply for a visa or any of these things. We were here. You had to come here by way of a boat. I want you to understand that of the current climate and situations, you had to come directly here by way of a boat, or matter of fact, you might have used a raft in order to sit up there and get here. We were already here, champion. We were already here. So again, all of the fights, all of the blood, sweat, and tears, all of the struggles, all of the families and bloodlines that were sacrificed and no longer here at this date are the reason that you are able to come directly here. To sit up there and try to make it seem like this was a way of affirmative action, that, oh, it only helped out the Asians. It was only beneficial to the Asians. It didn't do anything for the Haitians. What? What are you talking about? Did you not, like I said, this is the ignorance here. I guess she don't know anything about the history of the three waves of Cubans, of Cuban migrants that came here. Immigrants, migrants, whatever. I guess she don't know nothing about that. I guess she didn't read up on that book and see how that basically worked out, and seeing how, or was able to read how the United States government, including the CIA, had multiple Cuban businesses that they backed, that they funded, that they gave money directly to. Like I said, this is why it's difficult to have conversations with folks like this, because they're just going off of emotions and they believe it to be 100% fact. And then when you have somebody that is there that is given a little bit of pushback, now they're uncomfortable. Now they're problematic. We're going to overtalk you. We're going to do this and do that and all this other. We're going to laugh and berate and all this other type of stuff. Like I said, it doesn't work out having these conversations, because it would have to be on a whole different platform where they don't have control over it. It would matter of fact, it would have to be like a middle type of ground, because you're not going to be able to get a full point directly through, because a whole group of Haitians, they're just automatically going to overtalk. They're going to start talking in different languages and doing all this other type of stuff, trying to be slick and whatnot or whatever, being disrespectful. But let's continue.
This hemisphere, and especially not in Africa, because they didn't even have those countries back then. So, lè moun sa yo vin ranse nan figi nou, pa kite yo ranse, paske nou pa bezwen entre nan feeling nou. Clearly, the people who have issues with Black immigrants are people who know nothing about geopolitics. They don't know anything outside of wherever the hell they are. And anybody could say, oh, you ran away from your home, gladly, and I'll do it again. I will do it a million times, because I watched a mother in Chicago bury 7 of her sons, one after the other. The first one, they pew-pewed him. She buried him, she cried. The second one, they pew-pewed him, buried him, she cried. She never left Chicago until 7 men. Can you imagine a woman gives birth to 7
we
men?
got some, Imani.
And you lost all of them to gun violence? I mean, pew-pew violence, when all you had to do was move. All you had to do was move. I will move a million times.
So I want to sit up there and bring up something, right? Because again, now she want to go to the Chicago reference. There's gang violence and everything that goes on directly up out there. The difference is with somebody fleeing from a country and coming here, the United States government is going to help you pack up or whatnot, whatever, give you incentives and all this other type of stuff, and you're good. The United States is not going to do that if you're Black American and you want to sit up there and move because of whatever it is that's happening. So if that Black woman, if what that story is that she's stating is basically true, that that Black woman lost 7 sons, I'm sorry that that happened. You know, like I said, I have a lot more questions directly about that and how things are able to transpire and happen, but that would be for a, you know, another time. Um, the problem with that is that she can't just automatically run and flee with whatever kids that she got to a whole nother state. That's not how that works. Again, it shows the ignorance. Like she wanted to say that Black Americans were ignorant of geopolitics and all this other type of. You're ignorant of the politics and how things work within the United States, the states and cities. She obviously knows English. She's been here enough where her English is clear enough, but you still are misinformed. You are still ignorant of how things work. You really think that as easy as it is that you can flee by boat or plane or however it is to get to the United States, you think it's that easy to sit up there and leave from a state or city and go to another one and just automatically restart? No, that's not how that works. Like I said, and this is the mindset of a runner and a fleer. They think that anybody could just sit up there and do it in the United States. That's not how that works. That's not how jobs work. That's not how school works. That's not how money works. That's not how housing works. But like I said, you can't tell these folks nothing. They think that they know every single thing. They think that they know more than Black Americans. But let's continue.
So we have some new people on the stage. We have Gut and we have Mr. Mag. I can't see your full name. Gut been here the longest, so go ahead, Gutta. Gutta 561.
How you
Go
doing?
ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say this, right? My Asian, right? It's funny to me. I've been on TikTok for like almost 2 years now. I'm 38. I live in West Palm Beach, Florida, right? So basically, when this whole Haitian American thing was going on, I literally was there. Like, I was there. Like, me and two Haitian, we was like in the front lines of that stuff. Well, at least in my county. My county is 1.7 million, bro. You get what I'm saying? And the area I live in, I live right around the corner from the worst like ghetto in my city. You get what I'm saying?
Where you from?
Huh?
Where you from? What school? What high school you went to?
Palm Beach Lake High School, though, the best school in the whole county.
And you and please let's not do that because it's Lake Worth. But anyways, go ahead, go off.
Nah,
go
but
off.
okay. So basically, what I'm trying to say is this, right? It's crazy when I got online. Now I'm seeing a Black American say, "Oh yeah, this, that, and third about Haitian." Bro, especially the interview that Haitian girl did on the podcast talking about dirty Black Americans. I'm like, bro, I'm 38 years old, bro. I've been hearing dirty Haitian since I was like 9, bro. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, are y'all serious right now, bro? Like, come on. You get what I'm saying? Like, and then they keep saying things about bullying and stuff like that, or why your parents telling you, don't mess with Black Americans, bro. You think these people are saying that for no reason? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. You gotta understand. Our parents came in when the epitome of the CRACK era, bro. And you got to understand, our majority of the people that were doing violence and selling rugs was Black Americans, bro. You think these people are going to risk their life coming to America for they kids to go do some vagabond stuff? No.
So let's just make this very clear. He's saying that Haitians do not sell any drugs, and nor have they ever sold. That's crazy. That all right. Let's continue.
Hold up, gotta somebody, one of them said that it was a Haitian doing that in the neighborhood.
Man, come on, man. They say everything.
Not
They
where
say
we're from. Not from where we're from in Palm Beach. That was not, maybe maybe not Miami, but in Palm Beach, that was never the case.
Never.
Haitian was telling us, okay, if they did say that, right? You don't understand that. I'm from Lake Worth. He's from Palm Beach. We came from these environments where do you know what they were? You're not like a fan dog. C'est normal pour you do cause don't hang out with them.
Okay, I'm getting tired of her sitting up there doing this back and forth. So let me just look up some real quick. So it said that Haiti is not a major producer of illegal drugs or narcotics. for export, but it functions as a primary transit hub for cocaine and cannabis. Rather than originating in the country, these narcotics are largely produced in South America and Jamaica and move through Haiti towards North America and Europe. So you got cocaine, cannabis, and other synthetic drugs. So I'm a little bit confused on how they're, trying to make it seem like Haitians don't got nothing to do with drugs. I'm a little bit, and then you're talking about the 80s and the early 90s. You mean to sit up there and tell me? You mean to sit up there and tell me Haitians? So we know that Jamaica, of course, has something to do with it. You mean to tell me that you're in that area? Y'all don't got no parts. Y'all don't got nothing to sit up there and do with it. And then y'all got a large hub directly by the sea over there in Florida, but y'all ain't sitting up there doing nothing with drugs. All right, brother. All right. Okay. All right.
But here's another important part. One of the biggest reasons why they said don't hang out with them is because their kids coming home with their head busted by the same people. So why would they encourage their children to hang out with the same people that's busting their kids' heads?
Yeah, bro. And you gotta understand, like they parents and stuff was like, bro, it's either there's so a lot of their family members was on rugs.
You got 1 minute, Greta.
Huh?
You got 1 minute before I go somewhere else.
Yeah. So it's a lot of stuff, dog. But to be honest with you, it's just funny, dog, how they trying to reverse the whole hate thing about Haitians don't like us, bro. They never liked the Haitians since we came to America, bro. That's why the funny thing they say is, Black Americans are the most welcoming. That's the biggest lie ever, bro. That's the biggest lie ever. I'm like, dog, it's crazy, dog. Like I just don't understand. They keep saying, "Oh, it's a school bullying." Bro, what? It surpassed school, bro. These Black Americans was unaliving Haitians, bro, for no reason. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, bro, it was a
robbing Haitians.
So let me get this. So again, we're dealing with crime within proximity, right? And usually, again, crime within proximity, if you are within proximity to that, chances are you're going to get caught up directly in it. So again, they're trying to spin the narrative is that the only reason that if any crimes and everything was happening, it was only happening to the Haitians. The Haitians were the only ones getting attacked. They were the only ones getting robbed. They were the only ones losing lives. Nah, anybody that basically was quote unquote black in those areas, that was happening to everybody there. I don't know why they keep spinning this story, trying to make it seem like, yeah, as soon as we got here, it was automatically friction in between, Black Americans and Haitians. Like we had to start clicking up as Haitians and doing this because, Black Americans, they already clicked up on their side and it was already no-go zones and all this. It was already on site. Come on, dog. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ. And then he wanted to say, yeah, Black Americans are not the most welcoming. My bad, knock some stuff over. Black Americans are not the most welcoming community. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Why do you think that we're having a boycott with the Asians? Because we are that welcoming. Because we allow them directly into our space. Asians don't live around us. They don't even grow up around us. Like I said, I didn't start seeing Asian kids or knew that Asians had kids here, realistically, and just being honest, up until high school when I saw the small little, 5 Asians that were in that high school and they were clicked up. That I always seen them eat, walk to school or however it is that they got to school. I feel like they just flew in because I didn't really see them drive in cars. Like I said, I don't know, maybe they got like an underground secret tunnel from whatever suburbs that they were in and they just like parachuted in or something. But like I said before, Asians do not live around Black Americans, but yet they have businesses directly amongst us. We welcome them to have their businesses. A lot of the Arabs, they do not live around us, like the Chaldeans and whatnot. If you're from Detroit, Michigan, you know what I'm talking about. They don't really live around us, but they open up, they got liquor stores and gas stations and all this other type of stuff. Like I said, there's many other folks as well, too, that don't live around us and don't even grow up around us, but yet they got businesses. If we did not like y'all the same way that y'all say that we don't like y'all, we would have been got rid of y'all and y'all businesses eons ago. Y'all would not be able to step foot at all. But again, that's not the case. But let's continue.
Literally, like beating up people, have people running home, bloody. Bro, man, I used to hate that. You see, that made me so mad,
One
yo.
second, let him finish.
I used to, man, that
Low,
thing made
too
me
wicked.
so
Let him
mad,
finish.
bro.
Yeah,
you
but
done?
see, well, let me just say this one thing, right? This for everybody on the panel. Y'all got to understand something, right? I would say about 90%, no, 95% of people that come on these panels, they never lived around Haitians. Let's get that straight. They never lived around Haitians to even have that input on what's going on right now. The thing is, they trauma bonding right now, bro, because they trying to project their trauma to other black groups, bro. That's all they got left, bro. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's a fact.
What other black groups? I got a video right now where a Haitian man sits up there and states openly that he is not African. What other black groups? A Haitian is a Haitian, a Jamaican is a Jamaican, an African is an African. What black groups are you talking about? Black Americans are the only ones that really self-identify as Black American, or better yet, as Black. So I'm a little bit confused. If everybody basically calls themselves where it is that they are from, that's how it is that they identify and all this other type of stuff. What other black groups are you talking about? And this is why I keep trying to tell people, you got to pay attention to how these folks be sitting up here talking, because they will swap in and out of how it is that they identify. At one point, when they want to talk about the problems, they'll be like, yeah, it's Haitians and this, that, and the third. But then when it deals with Black Americans, yeah, they trying to trauma bond and they trying to attack and go after all of the other black groups out here. What? I done seen Jamaicans say that they're not Africans. I done seen Haitians say that they're not Africans. I'm a little bit confused on what other black groups are you talking about, because you're trying to slip and slide directly out of terms, out of identifiers. I'm a little bit confused. But let's continue.
Listen, think about it. I live in Florida, right? I don't live around Mexicans, bro. So how am I going to have an opinion on Mexicans? Because I see something on the internet, right? Think about that.
Hold on. We're going to walk that back. He said that he is Haitian and he lives around Mexicans. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could have sworn that Dominicans and Haitians do not like each other. They be going at war. Literally, that island is split. You got the Dominican side, you got the Haitian side. They do not rock or like each other at all. So I'm a little bit confused on how it is that you want to bring this up and you don't want to talk about that. I find it very funny. And then you want to sit up there and say that you live around Mexicans, Hispanics, whatnot, whatever, or however it is that he wanted to frame it. He was like, but how could I sit up there and speak on? I could sit up there and talk about stories about how Hispanic folks over there in LA treat the black community, because I'm able to see the stories. I'm able to watch the videos. I'm able to look at articles. Therefore, I can formulate an opinion on what is specifically going on. Like, I can formulate an opinion about Haitians because I'm listening to Haitians talk about Black Americans. I can formulate an opinion about Africans because I'm watching and listening to Africans talk about Black Americans. Like, this is stupid. This is stupid at this point. This is stupid. So the only way that I can have an opinion or formulate one is I have to specifically live directly there. I can't go by the experiences of Black Americans who specifically live around Mexicans or Hispanics. I can't look at those stories. I can't read those stories because, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't that technically what they're doing? They didn't specifically suffer like the one woman that wanted to keep bringing up, like, oh yeah, us Haitians, we were getting beaten over our heads like every single day. Like this was happening. Like we were fighting for our lives for 30 years. Crazy work. You were fighting Black Americans for 30 years. 30 years, y'all, since y'all been here, y'all been specifically fighting Black America. That sounds wild. Like I said, we would have movies, documentaries, tons of stories about these rivalries. This is how this will be happening at this moment in time, but it is not. You got enough Haitians to sit up there and make documentaries and stories. Haitians got money. They could easily sit up there and get together with a field of Haitians, and they could sit up there and start making 100 different documentaries talking about this, going all throughout Little Haiti and all this other type of stuff in these various communities in the United States, and make these documentaries. Why haven't they? Why haven't they written 100 books about this since it's been going on for 30 years? Obviously, you should have documented history and facts and news clippings and everything of the sort to support the 30 years of fighting that you had to do with Black Americans. But yet again, that's something that I do not see. Just saying. But let's continue.
That's exactly what they're doing right now. It's crazy, but yeah, I land my plane. I'll get back around.
All right, so we got Mr. Mag and Lee. Mr. Mag, go, then Lee.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
What's going on?
Hey, good, brother. Thank you for having me on your panel. I really appreciate that. But before I say anything, are everybody here Asians?
No, we got some American. We have some. You want paquet nation là, faut parler anglais.
Paquet nation. Okay, so I applaud everybody who's on the panel, and who have an open mind to have this conversation. It's very important. So what I'm gonna say is that I don't live in the States. I've never been in the States. You know, I'm not in Haiti right now. I live somewhere in the Caribbean. And just last night I was having a conversation with some friend of mine. You guys can hear my voice is a little heavy. I'm over everything that's going on involving Haitians because from what I'm seeing, and I don't know how people are gonna interpret this, it's us against everybody. Because even in the Caribbean right now, I'm seeing Jamaicans having protests. They don't want Haitians in their country. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy to me. And like the brother was saying earlier, is that I do have a feeling that it's people that probably never encounter any Haitians in their life. Or maybe people who just refuse to do a little research on their own. I can't believe we're in 2026 and people are just saying some of the rubbish I'm hearing people are saying. So my point is that what I want to ask you guys, since for those of you who live in the U.S., is it something that we are doing? Because I'm trying to understand why everybody has.
Hold on, because this dude, I really would have. I wish if would have had the thought process before I put this on stream. I would have fast forward. I would have clipped this part and fast forwarded because he's just taking like way too much time. And going back to the main point that one of the other Haitian dudes was saying, he was like, "How can you have an opinion on people that you've never been around?" This man literally said that he's never been to the States and he is in the islands, so he don't know nothing about Black Americans. But yet he has an opinion when it deals with this topic. He's like, "Hey, is this something that we're just doing and all?" What? Shouldn't you be worried about the islands? Ain't you in Jamaica or somewhere in the Caribbean? And I'd have seen a protest of them sitting up there saying they don't want the Haitians. They rightfully so. They can sit up there and say that they don't want the Haitians there. They have every right. That is their island. That is their place. That is their spot. They have every right to sit up there and say that they do not want Haitians there. Why don't you want to go back to Haiti? You want to be everywhere else but Haiti. That's crazy work. You're proud of Haiti. You talk about the 1804 energy. You talk about how you liberated yourself and you're the first Black this and that and all this other type of stuff. You want to sit up there and say that the only reason that Black Americans are freed because Haiti freed themselves, and then y'all brought that freedom directly to Black Americans, and that taught us, that gave us the blueprint and all this other type of stuff. How is it possible that you are being told, not just here in the United States, that people are fed up with you, but you're also being told over there in the islands that people don't want you there either? And that knowing how all of this is transpiring and going on, out of all of the pride that you have for home, you don't want to go back home. How does that make sense? But then you want to come on this panel with Haitians and you want to sit up there and say that it's egregious that other islanders don't want us to be there. Why don't you want to go back home? Why don't you want to go back to your own surroundings, things that are familiar? Why don't you want to build up? Why don't you want to invest? Why don't you want to build up the infrastructure? Why don't you want to clean up the crime, the gangs, all of the violence that are going on there? That's all I'm trying to sit up there and figure out. Why do you got a problem with everybody else not wanting you there? Right? You got more of a problem with that versus you wanting to go home and fix the problems that are there. That's crazy. That's diabolical. Well, let's keep going.
So much hate for us. I don't get it.
Let him
We're
finish. Let him
too
finish.
black.
Let him finish. Let him
I
finish.
don't
We're
understand
too
it.
African.
I'm trying to wrap my head around it to see where all that hate come from. Haitian people are some of the most welcoming people on earth, and I think that's one of our biggest issues. We should have stick to ourselves and not go anywhere else and help everybody gain their independence. Because the way things it pisses me off. I live in St. Kitts and Nevis. Not too long ago, you guys may have heard what the Prime Minister said here. Oh, they don't want Haitians in their country. St. Kitts is a very small island. Very, very small island. There's not even, I think, probably like 200 Haitians here. You understand? We don't represent a threat whatsoever to these people. The Haitians here, they just come here, they working, they are professionals, they're working in healthcare, construction, teachers and stuff like that. We don't bother nobody. Even in the news, when you see something happen, they arrest somebody committed a crime, it's always people from some other island. Never Haitians. But yet, the Prime Minister, who was the chairman of CARICOM at the time, felt comfortable enough to go on national television saying they don't want Haitian here. It just pisses me off. So I'm asking you guys, my brothers and sisters, what's happening? I'm trying to wrap my head around it. I don't know. My mama always said that if somebody says, if 1, 2, 3% say something about you, there's got to be some truth to it. So I'm trying to self-reflect to see if it's something that we are doing or the way we are moving when we go to these people's country or the community. I know for a fact that, like the sister said earlier, it's probably because we're too black and they can stand it, or maybe some of them are jealous of our history, but I'm still trying to understand what part that we have to play in
There.
this whole
Okay,
situation.
Imani, you wanna respond to him? You wanna
It's
respond to him?
not
I
because
do
the
want to
thing is this,
respond to
right?
him.
The thing is, it's not us, right? Like the best I could put it is whenever somebody's abusive or whenever somebody's mistreating somebody, it's natural for the other person to try and internalize it, right? I always say this. People wouldn't talk about Haitians as much as they do if they did not feel like Haiti is a threat or they didn't feel like Haitians are a threat, right?
What?
I think it's envy and I think it's anti-blackness. I think it's a blend of both, right?
Well, no, we're not even doing that. We're not even doing this because I know she's not going to frame it towards white people being anti-black and hating and being envious of Haitians. Because I have yet to sit up there and hear them talk about white people. I've yet to hear them address white people. I've yet to hear them address the situations of which that the United States have implemented themselves in a lot of things going on with Haiti and everything of the sort. I've yet to hear them say anything negative about white people. So I know that 9 times out of 10, this is going to fall on the shoulders and at the hands and feet of Black Americans. And for you to sit up there and say that we are envious, that we are jealous, that it's because you're too black, and what are you talking about? What do you talk? We got more history in this country than you do. What are you talking about? We are well documented in history books. You, my dear friend, are not. You have a little piece that is directly there when it deals with the real foundation of this country, when it deals with the fights, when it deals with the struggles, when it deals with a lot of these wars and a lot of the sacrifices where we're a part of World War One, two, and anything else. That is us. It ain't you. That is us. When it deals with the things that we are still facing and going through to this day, we're still trying to get justice and freedom and reparations. That is us. It ain't you. Like I said, I never heard Haitians talking about like, yeah, United States, you got to start giving up those reparations. I never saw no 1804 energy dealing with that. Y'all never had that. And then that goes back to the other point where she wanted to sit up to say that for 30 years, all Haitians been sitting up there fighting for their lives when dealing with Black Americans. So you mean to tell me that you got 1804 energy to sit up there and fight France and win, right? But you don't got 1804 energy to fight back the United States and to, try to get money from them, and you don't got the 1804 energy when it deals with Black Americans? That's a little bit weird. I'm like, so what happened? Did some kryptonite basically hit and it just landed down and it's stuck directly to y'all and it's directly within the DNA, the fiber of your being? So now you're in a weakened state and you can't fight back like how you were before. I'm a little bit confused because you got that pride, but you're also saying that you still got that fight, but you then say that you've been fighting Black Americans for 30 years nonstop and you never won. Okay. All right. All right. Let's keep going.
Right? And I also think it's just historical demonization and white supremacy. It's all of those things, right? Because I can never look at like the constant demonization. You only demonize people and talk down on people in that way continuously, especially when they don't really have systemic power, right? You only do that when you feel threatened, right? Like when you see somebody that's like like a low social roach in life, right? People like that do things like that, right? So it's just like, you can't look at it in that way because like we're having this conversation right now. We're having an intelligible conversation, right? For somebody to come up and hurl, expletives, for them to say low class things, that's a reflection of them. That's not a reflection of you. So when somebody sees somebody that is of higher
No. Again, you had one dude that was being patient while he was being overtalked and ganged upon by the Haitians there that were directly on that panel. And then you had another person, I don't know if he was Black American or not, but he came directly up and he started going directly off on the Haitians. You have people that are going to be reactive. If they see and sense and feel the disrespect, you got some Black Americans that'll be patient, they'll be tolerant, they'll turn the other cheek. You got other Black Americans, they'll be like, all right, so y'all firing off real quick. I'm just gonna go to 100. And that's how I'm going to jump directly into this phrase, since everybody want to be disrespectful. Because like I said, for Black Americans, we can sit up there and see when somebody may be passive, right? And then it might not be the time to be passive. You might need to sit up there and fight fire with fire. And you got other Black Americans like, all right, I see you. You're not going to do this, but I'm going to sit up there and do it. I got the energy and the time. But now they sitting up and saying like, oh, that's low class. That's, that's ignorant. That's this. I would say it's low class and ignorant if you keep interrupting a person while they're trying to make their point and they're not being disrespectful to you. And on top of the fact that they're trying to formulate an olive branch or a middle ground directly with you in order to get an understanding so that all of this bickering and this back and forth can basically stop. But y'all didn't want to sit up there and do that. Y'all laughed, y'all sneered, y'all was over talking, y'all were speaking multiple languages around this dude and being disrespectful while he was trying to make his point. And then on top of that, you allow one woman to keep continuously interrupting the dude as he was trying to make his point while also agreeing with y'all. But now it's low class. Now it's ignorant. Now you're trying to sit up there and state how different Haitians are versus Black Americans. Miss me with any of that nonsense, dog.
Class, higher ability to have a conversation, ability to be resilient through whatever life throws their way. Some people sit back, they don't like that. Like some people's spirits are unsettled. Like some people are sick in the head. I never internalize. I never look at it like it's something that Haitians are doing wrong or that it's a problem with Haitians, right? The problem is that there's a lot of people that are low on the totem pole in terms of the social hierarchy. So the best thing that they could do is try to kick down the people that they feel like should be below them. Even though that's not necessarily true, but because they're so tired of being on the low social bottom tier hierarchy, they feel like they need to look and try and demonize and push and bully a certain group of people. That's it. That's all. People that are of higher class, people that are secure in themselves, or people that want better for themselves, they look up for inspiration. They don't try to push people down, or they look up and they try to bring people up with them.
It's also I like that you said that it's the low hanging fruit that tends to always have an issue, because I think that there's nothing we could do, there's nothing we have done to anybody that has caused them to have this level of hatred towards us. You can't say we came to America and did something to you. You can't say we were wherever you're from and did something to you. We didn't do anything to you.
So let me just pause it. So I guess they're ignorant of all of the conversations that Haitians and many others have had aimed at Black Americans, saying that they are better than Black Americans, more educated, that they are making more money, that others who are coming here that are migrating or immigrating here, that they are doing better and more well-to-do than Black Americans who have been here for X amount of time. And then you also want to bring up the whole thing of slavery to try to throw that directly at us. And then you want to talk about, well, you guys were slaves and, we were sitting up there freeing ourselves and we were this and we can speak multiple languages. Okay, that's great and that's cool. But like I said before, what y'all don't realize is that, again, in order for you to be here, the United States government had to allow you here, right? And then in order for you to survive and thrive here, the United States had to, again, allow you to be here and to make money here, because they could have just easily starved you out and there would have been nothing that you could sit up there and do with it. They can come directly through, destroy any business or anything that you want to sit up there and do. Again, history has shown what they have done directly to Black Americans, to our towns and cities. They've burned them, they've flooded them, they've bombed them, everything of the sort. Whatever you can sit up there and name, they've done it. And if you haven't seen it historically, they're currently doing it right now. But like I said, you can't tell these folks nothing because they don't know anything. And plus, they also do not see themselves as the problem. The difference with Black Americans is that we can have an internal reflection and be like, yo, okay, we messing up here, here, and here. We need to sit up there and fix, these things. And we're going to sit up there and, spread out and have some people focus on these specific issues to make these issues better so that they're no longer a problem and or issue, so that we can start to move forward as a collective and those who are left behind can basically start to play catch up. These folks here are basically sitting up there telling you that we will run, we will flee, we will do it a multitude of times. We don't care about back home. We're not trying to fix back home. We're not trying to bring the education back. We're not trying to bring back business. We're not trying to bring back money. We're not trying to build up. right? We're not trying to pull up the collective. We're going to run and flee and leave everybody behind, even if it's our own families, and we're going to start anew directly in the United States. And while also being in the United States, we're going to also showcase ourselves and talk about ourselves in such a way to basically prove that we are better than the minority here, aka Black Americans. Because we as Asians, we've done this and we got this historically, and this is what we got to sit up there and show for, and this is currently what we're doing, and we're currently outdoing you. So we're supposed to see that disrespect and not have an opinion. We're not supposed to speak on that. We're not supposed to have a rebuttal directly to that. We're supposed to just keep turning the other cheek when it deals with a lot of this nonsense that y'all keep talking about. And then again, like she said before, we're not the Haitians. We're not the problem. This, that, and that. So y'all don't see none of that. Y'all have never heard none of that. I know y'all got a Haitian TikTok, and I know y'all able to see a lot of the nonsense and foolishness that your own people sit up there and do. But like I said, they're not the problem. It's a one-way street. And also notice how the younger girl, she kept saying that people. She didn't want to specify, because when they say people, when they generalize, they're also adding in other groups, but they don't want to specifically point out those other groups because they're not trying to deal with the heat and the smoke that's going to come directly with that. But they're completely fine with specifically talking about Black Americans when they want to generalize. Let's keep going.
But there is a high level of anti-Blackness that has permeated the mind of the diaspora, that they have such an issue. Because I always tell people this: remember, Haitians may be the only Africans that person really got to see, because especially back in the day, there may not have been high populations of different West and Central Africans, but the Haitians were there, and that happened in Florida, right? Because on my page, you can see I made a video to a girl who said, "Oh well, it's because."
Wait. Did that Haitian just sat up there and said that she's African, right? Where do I got this clip? Yep. Let me play this clip.
To find out Dr. Umar was calling for us Haitian Africans, and he was on live and he was talking about something. Where my Haitian Africans at? Where my Haitian Africans at? Nobody responded. Nobody responded because we not African.
So let me repeat that one more time. Let me play that one more time, because the foolishness that girl sat up there and said.
I came on here to find out Dr. Umar was calling for us Haitian Africans, and he was on live and he was talking about something. Where my Haitian Africans at? Where my Haitian Africans at? Nobody responded. Nobody responded because we not African.
So we heard that, right? So let's go back to that clip.
Y'all never had straight hair. Y'all this, y'all that. And I'm like, why would you? You can see I made a video to a girl who said,
let me just pull that back a little bit, right about probably
got to see, because especially back in the day, there may not have been high populations of different West and Central Africans, but the Haitians were there, and that happened in Florida, right? Because on my page, you can see I made a video to a girl who said, "Oh well, it's because y'all never had straight hair. Y'all this, y'all that." And I'm like, why would you bring up hair? Why would that be the first thing that you thought about, right? Because there is a level of anti-Blackness inside of them that even in their own communities, they're having issues with it. So of course, when the person is already groveling on the ground, they see somebody else come that's what Funky Dineva said. He said, when us who's doing bad, we see them people, they come here and we feel like, oh dang, that's somebody that we feel like is doing worse than us. Because you have to understand that when a lot of people had came, in the images that were being shown on TV there was a lot of boat people coming here. In the late 70s, the 80s, there was a lot of boat people. And so for them, they felt like this is a group that I can punch down on. And that's what happened with the Haitians, right? So you have that. You have the anti-African sentiments that a lot of them have, because and the proof that I have of that is, ask a West or Central African that has been living here, who came here around the same time as Haitians, that lived in certain places, what their experience was, and they're going to tell you it was one and the same thing. Because that's the issue that they have. Is just look at them Africans, look at them Haitians, look at that. And then of course there's hold on, I'm gonna land here. There's jealousy. The jealousy is even though they feel like we're so low, we're very proud on top of that. right? The Haitian come here, he repping his flag, he got Haitian flag day on deck. You go to the community center, the Haitian flag there.
Yo,
You go to
V.
the
You
airport,
left?
the Haitian flag there. You got this
So,
everywhere. Haitians are everywhere, and they're not ashamed of who they are and where they come from. And that really bothers certain people. So it's a lot of this. It's a nuanced conversation, but the fact of the matter is this: this is not back in the days when a lot of Haitians did not speak a lot of English that could respond to you. We speak English now, and we're gonna give you a response. That's just what that is.
I want to, talk a little bit about the question that Mr. Bakawetuknoa asked. And it's the sum of all the things Mila and Haitian Pride said. So for centuries, they gave us a bad name for a long, long time. I mean, even with the way that we were targeted. We spent about like 100 years where there was no white immigration allowed into Haiti, and people were just always speculating they're doing voodoo, they're cannibals, they're doing all kinds of things, and we never let go of our culture. So many other blacks or many other people who are not white tea, when they tell them they don't like their hair, for example, or they tell them don't do voodoo or don't do this, and they'll confirm, they'll do it. But us, we're always.
Yo, can I say something real quick?
So let me just pause that real quick. They keep getting on this whole hair thing that some supposedly random Black American girl or woman set up to set online. Can't even verify who that was. We don't know who that was because again, like I said before, you got a lot of masqueraders, you got a lot of cosplayers directly about here. They can never do a finite pinpoint on who it is. They can say that somebody's Black American, but they can't point to them and sit up there and say the Black Americans or specifically point out the areas. They want to generalize when they talk about anti-blackness or the hatred when it deals with Haitians, especially when it deals with, let's say, Dominicans that don't like them, maybe other Spanish folks directly about there. When it deals with white folks and many other folks, right, or others in the islands, they want to generalize and sit up there and say like people, right, and all this other type of stuff. When it deals with Black Americans, they can specifically and finite sit up there and say, quote unquote, who that was, even though they don't got no proof. That could have been somebody else from the Caribbean. Out there in Jamaica, they have a lot of colorism, they have a lot of texturism. So it's like, what are you talking about? How do you know that it was really a Black American girl or a woman that made that video when you got colorism and texturism over there in Jamaica? And there's documentaries about this where they use cake soap and all this bleaching type of stuff because they have an inferiority complex. They feel that their darker complected skin is not worthy enough of any type of appreciation, respect, and or love. So they lighten themselves in order to be appreciated, in order to be loved, in order to be respected, in order to be validated. Like I said before, this whole conversation that we've been able to listen to is a complete mess dealing with these Haitians because they're only coming from the perspective of a little bit of information specifically dealing with them. No, you don't hear Black Americans talk, and I'm pretty sure some Black Americans probably got into fights with Haitians and all this other type of stuff, but you don't hear us online sitting up there doing this. I'm pretty sure Black Americans and got, in fights, directly with Italians. Matter of fact, there's a small little, I think, a video or a documentary about that, especially dealing with New York and also dealing with the Dominicans and everybody else out there. Like I said, Black Americans have been in fights with every other group because every other group did not like us for the specific reason. Again, we were here. They were not. They had to travel, they had to immigrate, they had to migrate, they had to do all of these loops and hoops and all this other type of stuff. We didn't have to sit up there and do any of that. That's why, again, a lot of these folks are mad. This is why when we get online, you've heard Haitians, Jamaicans, Caribbeans, Africans, they've all, or even Hispanics, they've sat up there and said that, oh, just wait, Black Americans, the tide is going to turn on you. What are you going to do when ICE and everybody else is going to sit up there and come for you and they sit up there and send you back? So what, they're going to send us back to different states? None of these people sitting up here talking, none of these Haitians, they can always give a generalized, oh, you might look Ghanaian, you might look Nigerian. They list about 3 to 4 out of all of the countries that is on that continent. They list a few places that is usually a part of West Africa, but none of them can finite pinpoint directly where Black Americans originated and directly came from. They can never sit up there and do it. Let's keep going. But like I said before, the Haitian dude sat up there and said that Haitians are not Africans. So I'm a little bit confused on how this Haitian woman is trying to say that they are Africans. But even still within that conversation, there was still a separation because they were trying to say that Haitians are Africans and that Black Americans, that Haitians are the first Africans that we ran directly into. But also at the same time, they sat up there and said that if they're the first Africans, right, that we ran into, then what does that mean? So what are Black Americans? If you're the first Africans, but Black Americans are supposed to be African, but you're the first ones that we ran into, so what does that make Black Americans? Like I said, when they speak, people don't pay attention to what it is that they're saying. They don't even know. They can't even sit up there and tell you. If they can't specifically tell you, that means that we already been here. If we're supposed to be African, we technically should be the first Africans that we even know of directly in the United States. She didn't say that. She said that Haitians are pretty much, especially in those areas down south, they are the first Africans that Floridian blacks have ever seen. Sounds to me that would mean that the blacks in Florida are indigenous or original. If you're the first, right? I don't know. Let's continue.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Y'all really gotta just sit back and
1 second. Lee didn't go. Lee and then Joey.
Okay.
Gut respond. Lee then Joey.
Lee.
Lee.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I said Gut respond and then Lee and Joey. I don't. Go ahead and say what you're gonna say. Then after you, Lee and then Joey.
But see, I gotta understand something, man. It's a lot of cultural differences, dog. I think that's one of the main things, bro. To be honest with you, you gotta really think about it, bro. Like, a lot of people don't understand that Haitian is a very conservative culture. You get what I'm saying? Like, for example, our music, right? For the most part, our music.
Oh, let me freeze it right there, right? He said Haitians are a very conservative culture, right? Key point, great point. I love that point, and I'm glad that he's honest. This is why I brought the video or the live stream and video that I gave to you guys before, about probably like a week or so ago, where I showcased the many Haitians that sided with the Trump administration, that wanted to get rid of all of the immigrants and the migrants here, that wanted to get rid of the visas and the TPS and all this other type of stuff that people are able to attach themselves to and currently still be directly in this country, working, going to school, and all these other types of places. Haitians voted for Trump, which is the exact same party. Haitians voted for the conservatives, which is a part of the exact same group, who stated on their day and even before they got into office that, hey, as soon as we get in here, we're going to be shaking things up. And the first thing that we're doing is we're packing down on this immigration. We're about to pack y'all up. We're about to send y'all on planes, on boats, seagulls, whatever we got to do. And we're sending y'all right back home. Even if we may not know where you came from, we're sending you back somewhere that is not the United States. And they started doing that. But for whatever reason, why is it that these Haitians don't talk about the Haitians that voted for Trump, that sided with Trump, that were parading around and singing songs dealing with Trump and happy that he's in office? Why is it that these Haitians never go so hard directly on their collective that voted for all of this TPS and everything to basically take place and happen? Why is that? Like I said, there's videos of it out there. You can still see it on TikTok at this moment in time. But like I said before, you will never see these Haitians go so hard on their own people dealing with this situation. Crazy work. Crazy work. Like I said, how do you have your own group of people that voted against you, but you got more energy directly for Black Americans? And a lot of Black Americans, again, voted Democrat. A lot of Black Americans did not vote conservatively. You might have had a few directly up out there, but it wasn't enough to sit up there and really shift the tides. You had Native Americans that voted for the Trump administrations, Asians that voted for the Trump administration, Africans that voted, Hispanics that voted, Haitians that voted, white people that voted. You got all of these many demographics that voted and sided with the Trump administration to get rid of and to have all of these things happen. They basically orchestrated for their own demise. But for whatever reason, y'all got all of this mouth, all of this energy, all of this time, all of this 1804 energy for Black Americans online, but you don't got it. You don't got none of these smoke for all of these other people that put you into this situation, including your own. Wild work, 100%. But let's keep going.
The artists talk about love, bro. Like you know what I mean? Like the R&B artists back in the day, they talk about love and stuff and relationships and stuff like that. They don't talk about crime and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's different. You get what I'm saying? And think about it. Okay, for example, right? I know y'all seen it a lot. Oh, like they'll be like, oh, Haitian food got a smell to it, this, that, and the third. I never heard an African say that. The reason why is because we use similar stuff that African use in our food. That's what I'm saying. It's a cultural difference, bro. Like, and mind you, Haitian food better than, to me, it's better than every other black food that's out there.
So again, like I said, the disrespect. I'm not even sure how we came directly into these food wars. Your food is better, but the only foods that ended up actually showing up, let's say, even I got to go back to the Essence Fest, African food showed up. Haitian food wasn't there. Haitian food was not, it wasn't like, Haitian food versus soul food. No, it was African food versus soul food. It's soul food. They Africans are doing like a soul food fusion. Jamaicans are doing a soul food fusion. I'm not seeing Africans talking about, yeah, we're doing an African Haitian fusion. Jamaicans, we're doing an African I'm sorry, yeah, we're doing a Haitian Jamaican fusion. No, no, brother. No, 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 no. I can't even point to you Haitian restaurants that are really selling food like that where people are sitting up there just automatically buying it. Like I said, that's in very specific areas. Like I said, we got in I think it should have been in Dearborn. Somebody know what I'm talking about if you're from Michigan, or it should be Southfield. I think there was like a Vietnamese restaurant or a Thai restaurant that used to sell like sweet and sour chicken. And like I said, I don't know any Thai people. I don't know any Vietnamese people, but that food was great. And I'm talking about when I had it, that was like well over like 10 years ago. But when I had that food was great. And I've never had Thai or Vietnamese food ever before in my life. I can safely tell you I've never had Haitian food. I've never been to a Haitian restaurant, never even seen a Haitian restaurant. So, like I said before, you can sit up there and try to say that your food is so great and so whatnot or whatever. We don't have your foods all across the United States and formulating that into some type of takeout restaurants where everybody wants to sit up there and go eat it. I done seen a variety of people that come to these United States, even people from outside like Europe, come to the United States and try soul food and love it. So I don't know what you talking about. I don't know what you're talking about up out here. That's wild work. Matter of fact, I put it to you like this. I've technically seen more people eat African food than Haitian food. I've seen more people eat Jamaican and Chinese food versus Haitian food. So it's like, what are you talking about? When we're sitting up there talking about food and different stuff, just looking at the United States, you're not one of those foods. Matter of fact, let's even go to when it even deals with the Caribbeans. Let's go over to the UK. How many Haitian restaurants they got over there in the UK? As a matter of fact, I can't sit up there and tell you any. I know of a Black American woman that got a soul food restaurant because Gordon Ramsay was he had that on his show and he helped her out. I know of Jamaican restaurants. I even know of Indian restaurants directly up over there. They even got African restaurants. I don't know of Haitian restaurants. So it's crazy to sit up there and say that your food is just the best. It's better than any other black food out here. But when I look at the larger scope of food and what it is that people are eating, nobody's talking about or bigging up Haitian food but you. Just saying. I'm just saying. And then he wanted to go into the aspect of talking about music. For the longest time, this is why we talking about with the ignorance of these people. They said they just got here like 30 years ago, right? For the longest time possible, black music, we got jazz and R&B, right? We've always talked about love. It don't matter if you go from the jazz era, if you go to the disco era, you can even technically go to you can go to rap and hip hop. Like I said, we got a variety of genres that don't just talk about bang bang, shoot 'em up, and all this other type of stuff. We got things there, neo soul, R&B, and all this other type of stuff that talk about love. So it's crazy when they try to make it seem like yeah, all of our music it's just love and togetherness and this that and the third. Last time I remember, Kodak Black is Haitian. He talking about bang bang sliding on people, shoot them up, all this other type of stuff. What are you talking about? You whatever, dog. They got it. Let's keep going.
That's my
That's
opinion.
true. That's
Facts. You
true.
get what I'm saying? But you
I
got to think
tried
about it, bro.
all of them.
Have y'all ever heard of Africa?
They had a
I don't know, bro.
But they're also well cultured too. These people, the low hanging fruit, are uncultured.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, man. And then it's like,
so I want y'all hold on, wait. Let me just play that because I don't want people to think that I'm putting words directly in their mouth, right? Let me go back to 1650 and let me play that again so y'all can hear it.
I don't know, bro.
But they're also well cultured too. These people, the low hanging fruit, are uncultured.
So I want y'all to understand, she's talking about Black Americans. These are the same words that we always hear from all of these other quote unquote black areas where they sit up there say that they got all of this culture. And then when they look at Black America, oh, they're uncultured. They don't even have a culture. But yet, why is it that we see y'all dressing, talking, walking, acting, doing music. Y'all pretty much are modeling almost everything that you got off of us when you're in these United States. But yet we're uncultured. We don't have a culture. Excuse me? That's wild to me. Like, black Americans are not in a sense a monolith, but in a sense are a monolith when it deals with certain things, but also respectively, we're very diverse when it deals with a lot of our areas, our states and our cities, from dances to clothing to the way that we speak and everything of the sort. Like, it's crazy for them to sit up there and say that we're just like we're uncultured. That's wild work. But like I said, she said that they got here like 30 years ago, whatever, like basically the 80s. They've been here from the 80s to all the way up until now. So again, you're dealing with people that don't know nothing. They don't even research nothing. The same exact way that they say they're so educated and they know this and they know that. We don't know nothing about geopolitics. They don't know nothing about Black American politics. They don't know nothing about our history. The only thing that they know how to do is pick it apart and try to see where a Haitian was or what Haitians have laid hands on or took parts of so that they can try to lay claim to it. Let's keep going.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, man. And then it's like, bro, it's I don't know, but I don't understand it. And then another thing they say is, oh, y'all come to our neighborhoods to gentrify our neighborhoods. Like, bro, how are we gentrifying your neighborhoods, bro? If anything, we contribute to your neighborhood, right? Think about this. They especially
Well, how do you say that you contribute to a black neighborhood when you make sure to carve out an area called Little Haiti? Huh? I don't see an area across the United States called Black America. I don't see that happening. Like, we may get some names like Chocolate City and all this other type of stuff, but I don't see areas across the United States called Black America. Right? There's a Little Italy, there's a Koreatown, there's a Mexican town, there's a Little Haiti, a Little Italy, a Little Africa. They got all of these littles and all these other types of places, right? But they're saying that we're not trying to gentrify. So why are you within a community of which you're supposed to be a part of, but then you separate yourselves and then you use separate identities? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Like I said, that's the divisive nature. That's that separation tactic that they like to sit up there and use. Like I said, they like to move back and forth. This is what they've been doing, and this is clearly what they're doing directly in this conversation. But they're trying to make it seem as though that we're not intelligent enough. They're trying to make it seem like we're stupid and that we can't comprehend what it is that they're doing. Let's keep going.
like South Florida, right? They say, oh yeah, Haitians, they taking over our neighborhoods, this, that, and third. Bro, last time I checked, it was the Cubans that was gentrifying South Florida, bro, especially Miami. It's the Cubans. When the last time you heard any FBA talk about Cubans, bro? And they're the one that's literally threatening their existence.
So let me correct this dude right here. This is how I know that they don't pay attention to a lot of Black American content. I have referenced this for years, talking about I've gotten directly on the Cubans for a great deal. I've read directly through books and also put other types of information directly out there in order to inform people. So for this dummy to sit up there and say, when are the FBAs or when are the Black Americans going to have this type of energy? We do. We have energy for everybody. It's the difference is that with the projection that y'all doing, y'all don't have the same energy and the veracity and the verbiage and the words that we use. Y'all don't have that for everybody. We will single out. Matter of fact, let me do it right now. I've talked about Hispanics, talked about Spanish, talked about other people in South America, talked about Mexicans. I done talked about white people, then talked about Europeans, then talked about Indians, and talked about Africans. It don't matter who you are. I didn't have the exact same energy for every single person. So, like I said, if people want to sit up there and say something about me, you can clearly say that I hate everybody equally. So, again, don't come on here and sit up there and say that you've never seen or that Black Americans don't have. Yes, we do. Y'all just opt not to listen to that. Y'all opt not to pay attention to it, and you opt not to sit up there and showcase it, because if you did, and if you had the information of it, you wouldn't seem so dumb and have this stupid type of response. Talking about we Black Americans, they don't have that energy for everybody else. It's solely for the Haitians. We got energy a lot for white people. That's the one thing that you could never sit up there and say. Both ways. We got energy for white people, and then at the same time, you never have energy for white people. Because, like I said, Megyn Kelly sat up there and got online. She got on her own broadcast and told y'all to go back home. She said, we don't want you here. She said, you are not needed. She said, sayonara. And Haitians did what? Stay silent. They shut up. They didn't have no 1804 energy. They weren't trying to go at Megyn Kelly. They weren't trying to do any call-ins. They weren't trying to do any pocket. They weren't trying to do none of that when that white woman sat up there and told them to go home. But like I said, y'all got all of this energy when it deals with Black Americans, though? Okay.
Not black, of course they're not gonna talk about them.
Crazy.
They're not black. They
And
don't look like us.
Cubans overwhelmingly vote red every single freaking time.
Every time.
Every
Every
time.
time.
No energy for Cubans who's literally working against you. And if you try to bring up a couple Haitians that voted for Trump, it's
Mind you, we love our people from
raccoons in
Cuba
every
now.
community.
Nah,
No,
nah, nah, brother.
there's raccoons in
Nah, brother. Nah, look how they're using the terminology. Now they was like, oh, it's raccoons in every community. See how they generalize? See how even when their own people are doing wrong, they don't want to specifically point out and talk down about their own people, quote unquote, talk down or critique, however it is that you want to frame it. Notice how she did that real slick. She was like, yeah, they don't have no smoke for this, that, and the third, and all these other groups, they primarily vote, Republican. And it's like, even if we do have a few Haitians, whatnot, whatever, there's always raccoons in every community. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about right now? You sound completely crazy. You sound 1000% crazy. I'm while doing this, I'm going to sit up there and find that clip dealing with the Haitians, and I'm going to replay it here directly for y'all after we're done with this clip.
every community. Let's not do that.
I think like honestly, we should just become the boogeyman and the like evil person that they think we are. Like genuinely, I feel like that's like
That's it.
that's
We should
like
just do
where
that.
Yup, that's the only way it's gonna work,
But
y'all.
see, that's the thing. They got to
no,
understand, bro.
because my thing is like sorry, wanted to kind of like just add on to something and then I'll like let the floor speak again. But I think like what like is very frustrating is like not only that like it's like a low hanging fruit, not just like the anti-Haitianism, not all of the propaganda that was sold in and bought into, right? Because like it's easy to target Haiti because Haiti is being made an example of because it show not like we're not going so of post-colonial historic, although it matters, it's very relevant, but it is the only place where you could be authentically like this is the first place that like being free in the Western Hemisphere really like like you achieve a dream that only others could like imagine. I can't imagine like being in the belly of the beast like Black Americans. I will never have the experience they have like living in a majority white country and having to like rise above, and they've done amazing thing with the respective of like all of that, right? But Haiti is like an example of like what like freedom, love, experience of like being really authentically yourself met, and to see it as something grand is also is empowering, and it is easier for us to be dehumanized and disempowered than it is to be like, oh wait, this is a pathway for success, this is a pathway for freedom, this is a pathway for liberty, this is a pathway. Because like to me, like it's this conversation is always silly, like the diaspora wars are always silly to me because like it's not logical, it's not based on logic, it's not based on statistic, it's not based on numbers, it's very much nonsensical. Because like when you are in a country where you're the minority, having people with you that could add to the majority, the issue is not to target them and make them the bottom of the Toronto. Like that doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense for you, right? When you have like a group of people who are the closest to having a similar experiencing as you, and like it's not like when like Haitian came to the United States, they're like, oh, we're gonna trust white people, like white people. Like that has never been like, that's not like, if anybody ever believes that, there is like a historical, like that's not within the history of Haitian in the United States. That's not how it works. So I don't understand this narrative that's coming up. I don't know where it's coming from. It's not based on accuracy nor fact. So now I am at the point where I'm like, okay, cool. This is the boogeyman that you want me. You want us to be the boogeyman? Bet. This is the pathway that we're going to. Matter of fact, like let's all be illogical together. Let's all be like, we don't have a white supremacist to fight. Let's all fight each other, because that apparently seems to be more effective than actually thinking structurally. It's so silly.
So again, all right, bet. right? Black American. I also have a video, I forgot where it is at this moment, that a woman got online and she said with the clearest, boldest face that all of the slang that we have as Black Americans came directly from Haitians and or Africans. I'm like, where do y'all get this from? How in the world? Y'all said that y'all are so cultured, right? Y'all speak 3 languages. How on God's green earth, if you just got here in the 80s, did we get our type of slang and everything of the sort directly from your Africans? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? We got Africans right now over there filming themselves doing dances that are Black American. But yet these are the people that said that we got our dances, our Black American dances directly over from Africa and everywhere else. Huh? How that doesn't make any sense. How are you picking up something that Black Americans created if you created it first? That don't make any type of sense. Like, what are we talking about? Like I said, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna put together a video of a variety of dances from a lot of these different places that we got problems with. We're gonna deal with their original, authentic dances. And clear cut, you're not going to see anything dealing with Black Americans at all. It is specifically their culture, their dances. Magically, when they get to these United States and they're within our Black communities or around us or whatnot, whatever, supernaturally, they just automatically, they start doing these dances. But I'm like, what happened to your cultural dances? What happened to all of your culture and the cultural technique and all this other type of stuff that y'all like to speak on every single time, right? So let's go directly to this video. Let me see. What was that? Yeah, okay, that was one I did earlier. So let me go to this one here.
Yeah, I would say this. Haitians love Trump. May not be some in America, but a lot of the Haitians in Haiti, they love Trump. You know what I'm saying? They're a big supporter of Trump. I mean, look at how much belt he been putting on these Haitian politicians' ass that have been in corruption. You know what I'm saying? For a while now. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, I'm loving Trump administration. You know what I'm saying? I'm loving every minute of it. You know what I'm saying? We got these bulos that just recently got locked up. You know what I'm saying? Oligarch, you know what I'm saying? Which all the Haitian politicians in Haiti was afraid of. And now we got Andre Michel, you know what I'm saying? He tried to come to America. You know what I'm saying? He found out that, you know what I'm saying? I think they canceled his visa. So I'm enjoying every minute of these crooked Haitian politicians, you know what I'm saying, being, disciplined. Oh, man, I'm loving this, man. You know what I'm saying?
Good morning, my brothers and sisters. So today is the second day, actually. It's the second day after the election. And I know for most of you, you may not be happy. But I am happy because the choice was not mine. I was praying the Lord to choose the lesser of the 2 evils. And Jesus chose whoever he knows the hearts of both of them. So therefore, Jesus chose the lesser of the 2 evils. So basically, I'm happy. I'm happy that Trump is the president. I have nothing against Kamala Harris, but I have a problem with her policies. I believe that Trump is behind more so what God says than Kamala. So I'm happy for the result. As a foreigner, I don't know if that's going to mean for me to go back to Haiti. But though, anyways, salvation is better than everything.
Trump 2024. Where are you originally from?
From China.
Really?
Communist China.
Really?
Yes.
And you're supporting Trump, clearly.
Yes, because if we don't support Trump, if the Democrats get in, we're going to be communist, socialist.
Yeah, we don't want that.
We think that, yes. So that's why I volunteer to support Trump.
I love it.
Yeah, from 2016.
So you've been a Trump supporter from the very beginning?
Yes.
What did it for you? What did it for you?
Oh my God, when Trump became president, oh my God, so everything's so great.
That's good.
Gas is so low, groceries great price, and we got so many things achieved. Trump achieved so much, and he kept his promise. You know, he has his campaign promise. We didn't know he would fill those promises or not.
Yes, but he did.
And he tried so hard. He fight so hard for us, and it just is. I was thinking, oh my God, what a great president.
Yeah, he definitely was. We're on the same page. Can I see what your shirt says all the way?
Yeah. I have many shirts. Today I choose this one.
Oh, wow. I love it. I love the whole outfit.
Look at this Haitians for Donald Trump. The Haitian version of I Will Vote for Donald Trump. Great. I can't even set the beat on it. Can't get jiggy with it.
Donald Trump is the best, toughest president that I have ever experienced in my lifetime. And that's why I stand with Donald Trump. I'm a big supporter. I'm a big MAGA.
So again, this is a Haitian man saying that he worships a white man. He's saying that a white man is doing his big one right now. Him as a Haitian, right? This is the 1804 energy that they be talking about. And they be like, yeah, we went back to worshiping a white man. Shout out to Donald Trump. Wow. That's wild. A huge turn of events from that live stream that you guys were able to witness. Huge turn of events. Now Haitians for Trump. But like I said, why is it that these Haitians don't have any energy? Remember what the one Haitian girl said? She was like, even if there is a few Haitians directly out there, there's raccoons in every community. That's not a terminology that everybody uses. Let's just make that very cut and clear. Very cut and clear. I don't even think they even got raccoons. Matter of fact, do they have raccoons in Haiti? let me exist in Haiti. Yeah, they said raccoons do not currently exist in Haiti. So yeah. So I'm a little bit confused on how y'all even got that terminology being realistic. Y'all don't even, the animal doesn't even exist down there. I'm a little bit confused on how y'all even using something that you don't even have the concept of, that never even existed. It was a whole brand new animal that you just seen coming to the United States that never existed where you came from. Anyways, let's just keep going.
The problem that I see is the world is too soft. And that's why a lot of people do not like Donald Trump. But not me. I love him because he got the balls, he got the heart to say the things that most people are afraid to say. Like, you seen the guy in the Oval Office, speaking his heart out, fighting for this country. Meanwhile, a lot of people who he is fighting for are against him. There's nothing more satisfying to me than watching a man expressing his feelings despite how others feels about it, because that's the way the world should be. We all should be able to express our thoughts, our truth, without being afraid of what other people think about it. Donald Trump can get in the Oval Office, and curse every there and now. What's wrong with cursing? Why can't he say fuck, shit? What's wrong with that? We watch TVs all the time. We watch movies all the time.
TVs, plural?
The youth are exposed to these words already.
So what's wrong with one at a time?
With that being said, if anybody have a problem with how I speak my truth, then you just soft. Get up out of here, soft guy. You probably get ran by your wife. You probably don't even have control over your household. But you think you can have an opinion over how I express myself, how I feel, how I speak my truth. At the end of the day, wrong is wrong, right is right. There is no in between. People need to stop picking and choosing when it's beneficial to them. People have to face the reality of what it actually is. So you telling me that the youth out here even myself out here, can be exposed to ungodly things like homosexual through movies, through the news, through social media. I can get harassed, I can be bullied, and I can't speak my truth. If you have a problem with how I speak my truth, then that means you have a problem with yourself, because I'm pretty sure that there are worse things that you done seen, you done heard, but you shut the fuck up like a good old boy and not speak against it. But when it comes to someone like me, you think you have the energy for me. Keep the same energy all around 360. Don't pick and choose when to give it out. That's my message for today. And
Why is this man talking like Karl Malone from the Utah Jazz? Like I'm a little bit confused. I don't understand. ah, let's keep going.
I see the same thing in the political realm and also in the church. People pick and choose what best suits them, and they dismiss the rest. It's about time for us to not allow that to happen. We cannot accept this in today's society.
Is he reading something?
The world done went so far off that it's so hard to come back to a normal society. Things that was never a normal thing became normalized over the time because we accept them bit by bit, day by day, and now we are in a fucking hole.
Did he write? Hold on. My main thing is I'm trying to figure out, did somebody write this for him? Did he go to like Chat GPT to try to formulate something and just have the AI write something, and then he was trying to read it while he was recording? Because that looked like it hurt. I felt like his brain was like it was sputtering, it was shutting down. Hamster probably had a heart attack. Replacement hamster came in, that hamster overheated, and then another hamster came in, and it just was like, I ain't doing this. Like it was a struggle just listening to his thought process. Like I said before, I'm not the most eloquent or the best reader directly about here, but I'm like, yo, this right here, that was tough. That was tough, yo. Like, hey, and people want to sit up there and talk about Black Americans. Okay, all right. Struggle bus, chew. Let me tell you. Let's keep going.
I got the Zoe man here. Zoe, where you from, Zoe? 954. 954. Broward County. Broward County. One time for Tallahassee. Boogie South. Boogie South. Hey, I'm finna be the next president of Haiti. I'm finna change Haiti.
Next president of Haiti while being in America. That's wild. How you do that?
Okay. Hold on. What? You want voodoo? You want voodoo on that shit? You want voodoo on that shit? No, say one time, say Stanley Earl. Stanley motherfucking Earl.
Them and the Africans talk the
As an
exact
American
same
of
when
Haitian
trying to
descent
copy how it
who
is
has grown up knowing of Donald Trump for at least 40 years, who has heard every insult he's said about the Haitian community, who's watched as he removed temporary protective status from 500,000 Haitians and Syrians, and who's voted for him 3 times in a row. I come to you humbly to...
Hold on. Wait. Let me walk that back. Let me make sure I heard that one correctly, because he said, didn't he just say he voted 3 times? Hold on. Wait. Let me just pull that back real quick. Hold on.
As an American of Haitian descent who has grown up knowing of Donald Trump for at least 40 years, who has heard every insult he's said about the Haitian community, who's watched as he removed temporary protective status from 500,000 Haitians and Syrians, and who's voted for him 3 times in a row.
How many? Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Am I in a whole different universe? Wait. Somebody let me know how am I am I misinterpreting this? Because I could have sworn he's only been president twice. I could swear he's only been president twice. I remember I mentioned a Republican senator or whatnot that was Ogles, by the name of Ogles, that he was trying to make an amendment that basically stated that a president could run for re-election multiple times as long as they didn't serve 2 consecutive terms. And I told people before that Trump served, in a sense, 1 term, and then you have Biden, right? And then after that, Trump came back, right? So those are not 2 consecutive terms. So if Ogle's resolution, whatever you want to call it, if it passes in that amended whatever is added directly in there, Trump will be able to run for the next election, therefore being allowing people to vote for a 3rd time. I'm trying to figure out how this Haitian is stating that he voted 3 times for Trump. Somebody, the math is not mathing on this. The math is not mathing. I'm trying to look at everything history wise and in a logical area. I don't understand. I'm a little bit confused. Okay, wait. Okay, Chris was like, all right, he ran in 2026, right? 2020, 2024. Okay, okay, okay. So it was just me then. It was just me. All right. like I said, it was just me then. Just making sure. Just trying to make sure that I'm looking at this and I'm understanding it correctly. All right.
I come to you humbly to say that I would still vote for him again. I will bear the burden. I will bear the cross of having to deal with the fear that my compatriots, if not my countrymen, are probably going to be sent home into a dangerous area. And it bothers me, but everything that's out of my control, I give to God anyway. But I'm just here for the accountability of it. I'm looking at America dead in the eye and saying that I would still vote for Donald Trump because he is the protector of the American experiment. I've had too many conversations with progressives and leftists who have a million different complaints about the United States, that they do not respect Western civilization. They consider it white supremacy, that they're headed down the same path as past communist and socialist experiments that lead into anarchy, chaos, and mass executions. To protect America, I will throw my tear-soaked face on the hardships of the people who are not going to be with us in these United States. That also includes DACA recipients, TPS recipients, and the like. I've always tried to skirt the edge that we do need hardworking immigrants into this country. The South Americans who came over here and they're with their families and they're selling what they can sell. The construction workers, the ones who work hard. I've always said that we need to make a place for them in this American experiment. So it's not something I'm saying that's different. It's just that after all these years, it's time for me to be accountable that the President of the United States does not agree with me when I say that the Haitians belong here, the Syrians belong here, and DACA belongs here. And I have to bear that burden. But if we want to have an America, we have to have a president who wants to protect America. We have to understand that the Enlightenment principles of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is worth conserving. There are some things in society worth conserving, even if it hurts you to the bone. So with that said, I take my leave of you, and this is not for a pat on the head. I'm not trying to gain white validation. I'm just trying to look you dead in the eye and say I would still vote for Donald Trump. God bless America, and God bless the USA. God bless President Trump.
That's a great stop right there, where you got a Haitian saying "God bless President Trump." That's a great thing, and he said that he is willing to sacrifice his own people, the ones that got the culture, they can speak 3 languages, the Haitians that are working, the Haitians that are fleeing Haiti because of civil unrest and because of its war torn and everything that's taking place and happening, because of the lack of money, because of the STDs, because of a lot of the violence that's happening to women and girls, because of a lot of the drugs, a lot of the uh, untold numbers of weapons. In a sense, you got over 250,000 different armaments there, and you got a multitude of gangs. You got medical personnel such as doctors and nurses fleeing because they're like, hey, we can't do anything here without risking our lives. He said that he would rather vote for a president and an administration that's going to put his people back into that area versus trying to vote for them so that they could have the better of what is America. Woo! But like I said before, where are all of those Haitians with the 1804 energy to come directly at theirs, who are honestly and openly stating that they happily voted for Trump and they'll do it again? Nowhere. Like I said, so much for the 1804 energy. So much for all of that stuff that they keep speaking on and talking back on. They want to talk about all of this stuff from like the 80s and the 90s, right? Cool. Fine. No problem, right? You can hold that one. But what about this here? I would say if we had a scale and if we had to deal with 500,000 Haitians going back into Haiti versus what y'all talking about from 30 years ago, which one is more important? I would think the more pressing issue would be the 500,000 Haitians, no matter age range, getting deported back, going back into, those very horrible circumstances, especially if you got daughters, especially if you got, women that you care about, sending them and putting them back into those situations where you got armed gunmen that can pull up at any time, cause problems in situations, and there's nothing that you can do. That's some crazy work. That's diabolical. But like I said before, Haitians don't have any energy for other Haitians that caused and placed them directly into this situation. Crazy work, but got all that 1804 energy, quote unquote, for Black Americans. While having that 1804 energy, they said that they've been fighting with Black Americans for 30 years, but I ain't never hear them say they sat up there and won. They won against the French, but they didn't win against Black Americans 30 years. That battle, that 30-year battle, is shorter than what I had to deal with the French. Highly confused. And they also said that they founded parts of America. If that's the case, then you should easily be winning against Black Americans. It shouldn't even have been a battle. But like I said, I don't know, man. It's all over the place when it deals with them, all over the place. But anyways, much love, respect, and appreciation for any and everybody that's been a part of this live stream. How long have we been going for this live stream? For about a good 3 hours and 40 minutes. Let me go back through real quick. I want to give a shout out to any and everybody that threw some gems directly in the chat, and anything else as well too. Shout out to Rondo for the 550. Shout out to Brandon V World for the 2. Who else we got directly up here? Shout out to Philadelphia Eagles for the 10 gems directly there. We got 2 gems again from Philadelphia. We got Azar09 with the 2 gems as well. Much love. We got Hack with the $2 dono directly up in there. We got Gene Harvey, what is up, with the 800 gems. We got Slick Tom with the 2 directly up there. Oh wait, they actually had a question up there. They said, why would Black Americans hate Haitians? Honestly, yeah. Why? Maybe that was directly posed for the video that we had directly up there. I think maybe that's what that was for. But shout out for the $2 dono. Shout out to Keith Taylor for the 600 gems. And again, for the 2 gems, we got 777 scared 777 with the 440 gems directly about there. And then last but not least, we got Tippy with the 2 gems. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Oh, Tippy came back with another 2 gems. Much love, respect, and appreciation again. Like I said before, it's wild work out here. 100% wild work. I also want to give a shout out to those who pulled up to the low viewed videos that I had directly on the platform, where I was talking about certain issues again and again. It was only a few comments. I got about 6 people. 518 pulled up, 6 people commented. Like I told people before, it'll be low view videos and a few comments. And again, love, respect, and appreciation to those who pull up to those videos and take part in the conversation or different things of the sort. As stated before, I know that a lot of those videos will be low viewed. Comment section will be pretty low, if not almost non-existent, because it's not the videos that people can just automatically go off on. It deals with a lot of internal, type of stuff that people got to look at and be like, yo, this is messed up. Something needs to be done. Rah, rah, rah. So, like I said, it'd be like that. It 100%, be directly like that. Like I said, stuff like this, it needs to be talked about. It needs to be, pointed out when it deals with the community, everything of the sort and whatnot or whatever. That also falls into another video I will have up for you guys. Because I had somebody pull up to a previous video. Was it dealing with Sky Jackson? It was either it should have been a Sky Jackson video. It had somebody pull up and basically say again, like I was some type of op. Wait, let me see. Hold on, let me show y'all this real quick. Let me show y'all this real quick. Because this will be the next video that y'all will see. If I can, I think I already got the image for it up here, if I'm correct. Hopefully I do. If I don't, yeah, I do. Okay. So this is what it looks like. Like I said, shout out to those who were on topic and they paid attention. Apologies for, and I will give apologies directly in that video. There was a slight, technical error, sleep putting together the video. Again, I ended up pairing up the video, duplicated the video, and I forgot to put my commentary in there because originally I thought it was my commentary the way that I do the videos, but it wasn't. But I actually fixed that behind in YouTube, so that video went to I think it was like 9 minutes and like 30 seconds, right? It just doesn't have my commentary because I forgot to add it directly up in there. But amongst all of the comments that everybody was clearly focused and they more than likely understood what was going on, you had the few dummies that pulled directly up and wanted to write something again talking about unfollowing and all the other type of stuff. Like I said before, and I noticed one of the people there, they have a YouTube channel, and it seems like they tried to do something 8 years ago and it didn't work. And I keep trying to tell people, I'm like, yo, instead of being a failure in what it is that you currently are doing, if you put as much effort and energy that you do normally in my comment section, maybe you starting up your YouTube channel and maybe that flourishing would actually be a thing. I keep telling people that. Like I said, it makes no type of sense. Like I said, if I was really in a mood, I would actually highlight that person's YouTube channel. It really start going in, but it's like it doesn't even serve me a purpose right now. It doesn't, in a sense. But like I said, it's clown work. But like I said, shout out to all the other folks out there that was on topic, that stayed directly with the conversation, that more than likely understood this. It was a mistake that basically happened. It'll get, cleared up later, but that's not the most pressing issue. The pressing issue is the topic, directly at hand. Shout out to y'all. Like I said, much love, respect, and appreciation to all of y'all about there. Much love, much love, much love. Also, shout out to D Money was like, oh, Tippy got that money. Yeah, I told you Tippy is rich. Tippy is rich. We got Miss Anderson still in the bed. You still here? I didn't even know you were still here. I thought you would have been, probably, like working or, whatnot or whatever. Much love and respect. This has been a long time since Miss Anderson has been through a full live stream. I am completely shocked. Look at this lady here. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. What is that? What we got in the comment section? What is it? Jay God, what is up? What is up? What is up? Hopefully, if I pronounce that right. If not, I'm just gonna sit up there and pronounce it like that. That's it's just me. Jay the God or Jay God, said Delta Force Seji. The funny thing is I have played that game. So initially when you said that, I immediately thought about the game, as soon as you wrote that. But much love, respect, and appreciation to any and all that's been a part of the conversation and the live stream. Shout out to the trolls. Shout out to the trolls. Shout out to any new subscribers. Shout out to any new members. Shout out to all of the patrons. Shout out to anybody who has donated directly to the Cash App directly over time. Much love, respect, and appreciation. I wouldn't be able to do the things that I do without people like you. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Some of the clips I may have a little bit for you guys. I may put those together in some solo videos and do that. Look at this Tippy sitting up here. She pulling up to the scene, dropping the 2 gems. Look at Tippy. Look at Tippy on up out here. Tippy, you dropping gems. What about that GTA? What about that GTA, Tippy? What about that GTA? But yeah, much love, respect, and appreciation, everybody. Again, shout out to every mod that is here. Think what I seen. Tippy, Miss Anderson, D Money, Hack, Ty, Sunny, Gail. We got Sean up here. We got D Love. Who else we got? We got Mo, the hidden ninja from the Black Leaf, in the background. Who else? Who else am I missing? We got Third, directly up in here from the Hidden Cloud. Trying to make sure I got everybody. Trying to make sure that I got everybody, because sometimes we might have some people that will pull up we ain't seen in a minute. I'm just trying to make sure. I think I actually got everybody. Actually, and again, even if you're not a moderator, much love, respect, and appreciation for pulling up and being a part of the topic. Let me see. Tippy said I'm black, not biracial. Somebody said Tippy got Sonic rings over there. Mo said wishing everyone this. He almost got me, and I luckily read the comment before I finished it. Sonny said, I'm not just FBI, I'm also clairvoyant, which is why I would have passed when Eddie invited me to that event when he played victim. Like I ignore him and still. Wait, you talking about Eddie Murphy? I'm a little bit confused. TV said, what? Talking about that Mo. D Love sitting up for laughing. And we got Chris T in the building. Yeah, I thought I listed Hack. Well, normally I say Hack for short. Oh, we also have Sham in here too. What is up? What is up, Sham? What is up? Much love, respect, and appreciation. I think Sham was in here a little bit early. I know Sham been no life in some games, at this moment. So, she is pretty much focused. Pretty much focused. Let me see. What does Hippie say? He said, I don't like how YouTube changed our color mods to white. It was blue. On my side, it shows up as blue. It shows up as like a blue shield. It didn't show up to white, to me though. Oh, okay. Sonny said Carmelo and Eddie. He got 35 years because Eddie said him. Okay, I got what you're saying. I got you. But yeah, much love, respect, and appreciation. Go out there and get some food, get your feng shui directly in order, spend some time directly with yourselves, catch up on a movie, go out to eat, excuse me, spend time with your family or friends or things of that nature. And yeah, have a great, what is today? I do not keep track of days. Have a great Wednesday, right? July 22nd. I normally start off saying that, but I forgot about it and just went directly into the live stream. Tippy said our name is white, but the shield is still blue. Okay. Tippy said I'm hungry. Yep, I am too. I'm probably about to go order a burger. I ain't cooking nothing. I'm ordering a burger. Lazy cooking out here. That's that is what we're doing. A nice burger. That's what we're going to do. So yeah, shout out to y'all. Much love, and I'll catch y'all in the next video and or live stream. Peace out.
Wait, no.
I got to click that back on. There is nothing lazy about ordering Uber Eats. It's the first time that I've had to address during the music. There is nothing. Uber slander will not be tolerated in these parts. I gotta highlight that one for the ending. That's not how that works. That is not how that works. Oh, we got a throw that pulled up. No problem, buddy. I'm still here, and you can get banned. The last ban of the live stream. Shout out to you. That is a record. That is a record. Crazy work though. That is diabolical in nature. Only Miss Anderson. Wow work. Like I said, shout out to y'all and go order some food. Uber Eats. Get that 50% off they currently got at this moment in time. This is not an advertisement or a sponsorship. SEIJIHITO does not get paid from advertising. Peace up.